This
third
conference
millennium
will now be
and
recorded.
thereby the solution to impact humanity by means of human-centric designs and naturalistic thinking. So now I want to invite Dr. Shahid for their presentation.
Welcome, Dr. Shahid. Yeah, you can share your screen. Now it is your desk. You do as you like. Yeah.
Very good afternoon, each one of you. Thank you. It's a great honor to be here in front of you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. So could you just be the screen button? We'll share the
Yes.
screen button
at the bottom, Dr. Shahid, next to the mic, then camera, there is a screen at the bottom. If you just click it. I hope you are getting it because you already made an organizer. You are already organizer, come presenter. You click it, you can share your.
It is still not allowing me.
Is it so? It should not be because you are already an organizer. So there should not be any challenge, I believe.
Feature include keyboard, mouse, control, and drawing tool. Allow access, security, privacy, locator system. Important when you are done, restart. Go to apply your changes. Open system preferences. Not now.
Oh, that may be in your settings. In your laptop settings, you have to go to meeting. Are you using first time go to meeting, Dr. Sai?
Yes, go to meeting first time.
That's right. Because in the properties, this window will automatically get open, and you have to just tick it. It will be unticked. You have to tick it, go to meeting, and you will be able to share a screen, I believe.
So sorry, guys, for the just let me do that. The settings side.
Or do one thing, Dr. Sai, just send me your PPT. I will play for you. I'll play for you from here. Yes.
Okay.
It will work.
I'm just sending the WhatsApp to you.
Yes, you just WhatsApp me. I will start. Yeah.
Give me a minute. I'll just WhatsApp.
No issue. No issue. It's your time, Dr. Sai. No problem. So by the time Dr. Said is sending me the PPT, I will play. So dear participants, you may be ready with your own pad and pen also, because you may have some queries and questions during the session. You can make a note of it, and you can ask the questions by using only chat box. So no coming on a mic. So mic has to be keep muted by yourself. Camera, okay, is your wish. You want to be, sometimes you will get a good bandwidth if you will switch off your camera also during the session anyhow, but still you wants to keep your camera on. You are welcome to do this. We have no any hesitation, and make sure that on camera it should be you only, not any other kind of gestures or postures or other things, because it's a FDP and we have to follow the norms as per the FDP norms. All the sessions links before the session is given for joining. Tomorrow the same link will not work. Session 3 link will work for the morning. Session 4 link will work for the afternoon. I think you already well versed. That's why you could come in. Though some of the faculty members could not understood this, they are even texting me. I'm guiding them. Go to the schedule PDF file, just click it, and you will reach to inside. So I hope that Dr. Shahid will be able to send me his PPT, so which I can play for him. So this sometimes when we are new with the new platform, because
loading to you, I'm sending by email. Okay.
Okay, please do send by email. Anyway, no problem. I'm ready with my email as well as my WhatsApp. The moment it comes to me, I will start for you, Sai. So you can you can start initiating your talk even if you want. I hope, Dr. Mahiraj, we have sent to the emails to the future participants, like those could not be come to the morning session as we
Yes,
have
sir. Yes,
included.
sir.
Great, that's great. So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
expecting by
Registration
next 2
ID we
minutes.
have not made, but in the evening we will also send it.
Very nice, very nice. Because I want the maximum participants should be get benefited with all the sessions. Those are not interested, it's fine, because being
Yes, sir.
free,
Yes, sir.
everybody apply, but later on they realize that they should not join, so they don't join. So that is a problem in my country. Free is always to be
I have sent
some.
already for you the
Okay,
detail.
thank you, Dr. Said. I'm just opening my email.
It is there in
I'll
the email. Okay.
Yeah, I got it, and I'm just going to download it and play for you. Yes. So now I must share my screen to make it perfectly reach to everyone. Is it okay, Professor Shahid? Yes, Professor Shahid, I think you can see the screen. It's available. This is what you wanted me to play for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just downloaded it because sometimes when we don't download it, the fonts maybe not be different, you know. I just downloaded
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No,
Yes.
let it download.
Yes. It's almost over and I'm just going to open it. Yes. That's it. So I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, very good afternoon, each one of you. Thank you for giving me opportunity. Let me start my session. See, we all are teachers. We are facing a tough challenges time, even though it's unpredictable. Teacher have a double challenges. We are first time socially auditing by the each one of the not only the we are not teaching basically nowadays the student. We are teaching the parents. Parents is going to be our the student kind of a model. Can you just pass the next slide? To give a brief idea about IIT Bombay at 2005, then later the research moved to Harvard, then to MIT. We launched the project in ISB Hyderabad. We are headquarters in IIT Madras Research Park. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. So see the trend of the market. We are talking about the artificial intelligence. I'll just give an idea what is artificial intelligence. Just one slide up. One slide is already missed, the yellow one. One up. No, you are going. No, yeah. Artificial intelligence is the new electricity. Behavioral data is the oil of the 21st century. Mathematics is the spine of artificial intelligence. India is the answer of 21st century. From this slide, you need to understand only one. The takeaway is behavioral data. First time in the history, we are the electricity was the energy. We are changing from the electricity to behavior. The energy was the electricity. Behavioral data is the oil of 21st century. Mathematics is going to be the spine of artificial intelligence. India is the answer of 21st century. The take care of the whatever in the future which is going to happen, job or everything which is connected to behavioral data. You and me knows that why Geo is getting a huge fund. The only reason is behavioral data. So behavioral data companies are going to control. The behavioral data, the spine is going to be mathematics. The people who have a good in mathematics domain, they get a best job, like those who, the last century, it's all about the paymaster was those who are into the oil. Similarly, those who are very good in math, was once again the max phobia is going to again get into trouble. So max is going to be the biggest challenge for all of us. India is the answer of 21st century. The reason is that while rest of the world is aging, India is getting younger and younger. India is the make or break of the another century. This is the reason all the companies going to put money in India. So India's behavioral data is the make or break. So two things here. One is the takeaway is behavioral data. Future is all about behavioral data. It is not data. Remember, I said behavioral data. So keep in mind that your children, the student, whoever it is, the future is going to be behavioral data. The second point here, mathematics. Mathematics. The third is India is the answer of 21st century. It means we all have an opportunity for us. Next slide, please. To talk about a little bit of economy, we are in a transition period. We are exiting from the fossil fuel economy. When we compare the fossil fuel, this is the segment, one of the largest business in the world, which has been controlling nation, government policies, economy, war, peace, and the last centuries. So even if you ask the richest man in the world who made the money, Rockefeller, he made the money from the oil industry. All the countries like UAE have a $1 trillion area, Canada, we have a Qatar, Saudi, all they made the money from the oil industry. The oil industry worth was the 4.65 trillion. India's GDP only 2.65 trillion. Now we are exiting. Oil industry is going to be the last season. We are transferring to the future economy, to artificial intelligence, driven by behavioral data. Again, mathematics is the spine of artificial intelligence. Even this industry will be the paymasters. If you really look into the 9 company which you mentioned, the Apple, Google, Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, Alibaba, Tencent, Facebook, Baidu, these are the companies going to rule the world. If you really understand, all these company came the last 2 decades. Look their money. What level of a money they have? 1.3 trillion, 1.33 trillion. India's GDP is 2.65 to 85 trillion. Now they can buy India. This company just started. How did they get the money? This is where the behavioral data game is coming. So all the investment in India, if you really look into that, why everybody is after Geo? Geo is the one and only company in India having a behavioral data. This is the reason everybody want to investment on behavioral data after Geo. So these are the companies going to control the world. Next slide, please. So whoever lead in artificial intelligence in 2030 will rule the world until 2100. So artificial intelligence is the game changer for this century. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, see, the session is going to be, I divided into 2. The first session, I am going to talk about all the negative side. The second session is going to be all the positive side. So the first thing to make you understand how artificial intelligence is important in our teacher's life, how it is going to be the history, how it is going to affect you and me, the artificial intelligence. This slide will give an idea about evolution of artificial intelligence. You and me knows that energy is always the decision maker of everything. So olden in pre-18th century, the energy is all about muscle power. So we know that in 18th, 19th century, we were having 28% of the GDP. Why India got that? Hindustan, those time Hindustan. Why we got that much money? Because of the number of the people we have. We got the more productivity. To get, we human always after productivity. So to get the 1x to 2x, we always put more people. Later stage to again to get a more productivity, we put animals into the energy side. We have horses done, we have elephant, bullock cart, even the army, war, we use all these animals. So decision makers of pre-18th century it's all about human muscle and animal muscle power. These are the two decision makers. Slowly to get from 10x to 1000 in 18th century.
अभी किया समझ नहीं आ रहा था, अब हो गया लैपटॉप से
the invention of a steam engine from 10x to 1000x, we started to use it. Slowly use it to give the intelligence. Now intelligence is going, the machine intelligence is going to surpass the human intelligence. This is where the artificial intelligence comes to the role. So I'm just repeating the takeaway. This slide, you will understand evolution of artificial intelligence. It's all about energy power, the energy from muscle power, then animal power added, we get 2x to 10x. When 18th century steam engine, or we got a machine power. Slowly we put the machine power, the intelligent in information era, it's reached now the AI era. It's all happened because of it is going to surpass the human intelligence. The machine intelligence is going to surpass the human intelligence. Hope you got the slide. Take away. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, why artificial intelligence is so important? Why we all are going to be get into trouble? Just imagine, 80% of the existing people are going to lose their job. 80%. Just imagine. I said 80%. While rest of the world is aging, India is the youngest country. We have a 600 million youth. First time in the history that much people are in a one place. 80% of people are going to lose their job. Why it is happening? There is no rocket science to understand. You yourself will understand now from these two slides why we are going to lose their job. So we human have a two skill basically. One is the physical skill. The second is the cognitive skill. In the future AI age, a machine can do this job, both physical and mental, better than all of us, 100 times better than human. So job crisis is the result. Next slide, please. So this is a very important slide to understand suddenly why we are losing job. Even though we are the inventor of all this, why human are going to lose job? Why upskilling and reskilling is of people is in AI age? See, the FDP is all about upskilling and reskilling. So it is why it is so difficult. It is going to be future. You will understand from this slide. Majority of all of us in the early stage, we were in the agriculture. So agriculture is all about physical skill. Even though little people in the cognitive side, majority of the farmers, they are doing the physical skill. First industrial revolution, when steam engine found to mechanize the production, it was assembly line. So there was no issue to upskill and reskill. It's again a physical skill, assembly line. Then the second industrial happened to accelerate the mass production electricity. Again, it was assembly line, physical skill automation, physically automation, it's happened. But third industrial revolution happened, it's the information. You and me know that what the company's done this time, whether it's Infosys or TCS or all the IT company came to the campus, recruited the student irrespective of their domain, whether it is a civil, mechanical, electrical, they didn't care. They only care, the IQ level. So they took the people and given the training in-house or outsource and installed to the system. This was the last 2 decades in front of you and me happened. So what it made actually, now these people, if they look their age, it will be 35. All these people, the last 2 decades. So above the level of a people, the 40 and above the people, the gap is started. Information age made a gap. They're not good at in the technology. The 50 years of the guys, the people, they are going to be useless to the economy, useless to even the family now. You and me knows that it is going to be the reversal of parenting. Now, if we want to buy something, it is going to be the online. And when we do the comparison, now if I want to buy my good mobile, what we require that we'll ask our children. So can you check and compare and check all the properties and thing and tell me. See, in olden age, in our year, I am in my 46, all the value system installed by our parents and grandparents and religious institution and educational institution and the teachers. But now currently all the value system is installed by social media, Google, all these things. It is not there. So what is going to happen? Children are going to teach the parents. Just imagine now, you know that here children have a more knowledge than us. Now 40 above age people are going to be useless to the economy. It is going to be useless to the economy. They are not going to impact much. Even it is a reversal parenting is going to happen. So information era, you understand what the changes. Now we are entering to the fourth industrial revolution, which is going to be artificial intelligence, 3D printing, nano robotic, automobiles. See, it is going to be fundamentally change everything what we can think. Reskilling and upskilling is going to be very tough. Just imagine that a driver lose their job. Can be making an analytic guy, AI guy. It is very impossible, right? A cashier is going to lose their job. Upgrading and reskilling is going to be the job which is going to be there, only kind of a job which is based on the analytic and mathematics. How can we make all the physical people, those who are doing the transferring from to the cognitive side, upskilling and reskilling is going to be very, very, even you and me, we are doing the upskilling and reskilling. It is going to be very, very difficult now. The future also. So it is going to create a useless economy, useless people. Even if the prediction is that 25 years onwards is going to be 25 years of onward, it is going to be trouble. They will not much impact to the society. They will not much impact to the economy. They are going to be outdated. Next slide, please. So a little bit of connection of the history, human brain to design, machine brain to design. Though we have seen a lot of in the history, that we have seen fascism, we have seen communism, we have seen liberalism. So fascism, even though people have used, exploited, somewhere it is connected to humanity. Communism, latest stage came, it's all full of human-centric. Liberalism, which we are enjoying the topmost, we are enjoying, it's also human-centric. Religion, human-centric. But remember, the future is all about twin revolution. Information plus biotechnology. We human and artificial intelligence is going to merge. In the design itself, there is no human. So there won't be any job in the future. Even all this democracy, which we have the largest democracy in India or in the US, if you really look into the power level, India, we enjoy the largest democracy, we enjoy the maximum in terms of the futuristic level. We have a Chinese model, Jinping communism, we have a Vladimir model communism, we have a Turkey autocracy model, but none of this can control the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is controlled by a tiny group now, so they are going to take the power. Even the democracy has to be redefined or evolve in a different way. Otherwise, they cannot control the future. So all isms, fascism, socialism, liberalism, and religion were human connected. But twin revolution, infotech and biotech in the future will make human irrelevant. So we are a company, we are appealing to the world, we 3G commune, why we have done all these exercises. We are one of the R&D, education R&D company. We have done research from pre-independent till today about Indian education and to understand how we can handle this situation when 80% of the Indian population are going to lose job. It is going to be toughest time in the history of India. So we have last one decade, we have been here more than 5,000 scientists together. We are trying to make a different solution to handle this situation. So we are appealing to everybody, those who are working in the artificial intelligence, anything they design, it should be human-centric and it should be naturalistic. These are the core two words it is going to be in the future. Anything we design, it should be human-centric and natural. But it is not the currently all design. If you really look into those who are watching the last World Economic Forum, the theme itself was how to survive 21st century. Just imagine, theme is how to survive 21st century. All the leaders came, like Sundar Pichai said that, come and monitor us. Why all these big companies are telling, come and monitor? Even though they are investing huge, they are scared other side. Nobody know how the AI is going to turn. It will be good. We all hope, we are optimistic. Let it be good. If it is the only people who is going to handle it. If they are the good people, it will be okay. If the bad people, they will have a problem for a transition period. Next slide, please. See the major job given to us automobile industry. Every 6 people, 1 guy will be working in the automobile. The future is robotic industry will be the bigger than auto industry. Next slide, please. So the new psychology is coming, mission psychology. Mission is going to be, we are going to teach the mission. Human and mission is going to, the robot is going to work in the future hand in hand. So we will be more teaching the mission. Now I'll give an example for you. If those who are into working in social media and all, we are creating everything. Our consumers are going to be, bots, AI algorithms. Those who are doing the search engine, they know that even the Facebook, when we upload, we have a certain format. Our target audience is not human now. Slowly, it is going to be, it's going to be AI algorithms. Even AI corporates, robot corporates are going to come in the future. Not humans are not going to be the consumer. AI is going to be the consumer. Next slide, please. In future, psychology go to the train, robot, then we are going to work hand in hand. The robot and humans are going to work hand in hand in the future. Next slide, please. So what is going to be the best job? It is, we call it as a techno-behavioralist. It is mix of a mathematics, psychology, and education. These are the 3 domains we need to, we are designing a course in IIT Madras Research Park for this, for UG and PG and PhD, this course actually. Those who can join these 3 going to be, have a Midas touch of AI age. Do you have these 3 want to be the champion of in AI age? So these 3 is very important: mathematics, psychology, and education. We have to mix 3 together. It will come a new course. Next slide, please. See, just imagine, this will be the future. Why no human came for job today? The rise of a techno-socialism. This is going to be the future. Next slide, please. Just imagine this slide, what it is telling. Useless human. See who is going to drive. Robots are going to drive. Now, what's the situation? Unless we intervene now, we didn't upgrade ourselves now. What the picture is showing, where can I dump this human garbage? They are not going to be impacting anything. Next slide, please. This slide is a little bit scary for you and me being a teacher. Okay. This is all you can check in the internet. This is all taken from the internet. Google brain implant, mega mind Google brain implant could mean end of school, as anyone will be able to learn anything instantly. Means that similar like in a mobile, we load, upload and download movies or song. Now future, it is possible to load, upload, which is required in knowledge to upload and download to the brain. Even see the second part of it, what AI is, scientists have developed an artificial intelligence system that can translate a person's thought into text by analyzing their brain activity. What is the accuracy level? 97%. Whatever in the brain which we think, it can be translated 97% accuracy into the word. Now, can our teacher, me and you, can do this while taking classes? Then you understand, unless and until we upgrade ourselves, what is going to happen. Next slide, please. This is very, very important slide for you and me. what is the problem? As we said, we are the one who creating AI. Why AI is threatening us? Never in the history it happened. As I told you, there was a two skill for us. One was the physical skill. There is a two skill: physical skill and cognitive skill, the mental skill. So now we under the physical skill, you know that it can be automated. The mundane, redundant job can be automated easily. Why the other biological intelligence have a threat? From this slide, you will understand that. Operating frequency of the brain 200 hertz. The brain, we have a operating speed is 200. Operating frequency of a AI, which is currently 200 gig, it can go. It's only current. It keep on increasing. The other side, biological intelligence, we have a transmitting information speed through axon 200 meter per second. To give an example, if I touch a fire from my hand to brain, that information reach through axon, the speed is 200 meter per second, and it will come back and tell my finger, take back the hand, take back the hand. Okay, see, this is 200 meters, where the AI speed is 3 million meter per second. You and me knows that if you put something in a Google search, within seconds, even 0.2, it will bring you trillion data. I'm just repeating again that you put something in a Google search, just give a teacher word, it will bring you trillion data. If there is any smartest human on earth can analyze and bring that much data, that is the speed. It is speeder than light. We don't know what speed it will go after that. Now we look into the watt. The human brain is 20 watt. The current 2016, there is a movie called AlphaGo. It is very good. Those who are interested to learn about artificial intelligence, it is there in the Netflix. Go is a board game like a chess, which considered the topmost smartest guys can do this game, because even though it's a small chessboard kind of a thing, it is having a world atom strategy. That is considered the most intelligent game in the world. The people, those who do it, is the pride of China, having a 2,600 years of a history. What happened? A algorithm which is bought by Google from UK, developed by two guys. They bought, it's a one-sheet algorithm bought by Google, 500 million. What they have done, Google applied this algorithm to the smartest thing in the world is, we all know that this board game. They applied into this board game. Within 40 days, we are talking only 40 days. Within 40 days, algorithm learned this game, defeated the champion Lee Sedol. It is the movie, the real movie. It is there in the Netflix. You can watch it. Okay, that day, the world understood Google is going to control the world. The China understood. China called up a meeting. It's a human crisis day, brain crisis day. It considers it happened in 2016. And China invested a huge amount of the AI. Now China is far, far, far ahead than America in the artificial intelligence. Okay. Now, just this is this slide. This is very important. Then, now how AI is going to learn? AI is learning in a week 20,000 years worth of a human level research. You and me, we are teaching a student. How much a student can learn 1 week? You know that. Artificial intelligence can learn 20,000 years of a human level research. We are not talking about normal learning. We are talking about level of research. Now you can think about, can our children compete with this technology? You think about it. I leave to you. Can we compete, or you can compete, I can compete, or our. Now we need to think about what kind of a education does we really required in the future. Think about that. We are the people. We need to change everything. We need to redesign, redefine, reimagine the education. Unless and until we do, from this slide, you go and check in the internet all the information. This is all information, sharing information. It is there in the internet. Then you tell me that what kind of education we do. how can we compete artificial intelligence learning? Because AI also learning, human also learning. What we do to the children, we are teaching something, they are learning something. The AI competitor is one is enough. So in the future, it is going to be one doctor, it is going to be one driver, like a similar, like we have a one Google map. That Google map is solving everybody's problem. Similar, like in the future, I'm not talking about immediate future. May see, technology enables in the future the teacher in a certain time, then it disabled later stage. So teacher, the word itself is gone from the dictionary. So we cannot call as a teacher, we have to call as a mentor. We cannot compete Google, we cannot compete YouTube, we cannot compete we cannot upgrade like a MOOC course, a massive online. So we cannot even call the word teacher, or it is very difficult to call professor even now, because children have a more knowledge than us. They are able to upgrade, they are not going to respect us. I'll give a story which happened, one of my friend. So he was traveling in a bus. Suddenly one of the old student, he was sitting there in the bus. He just got up, we find his teacher is standing there. He just got up and they were fighting. Now teacher understood, it's not like before, children won't respect us, then teacher said, use it. In between, another guy went, and they both are, another guy went and sit the same place. And when teacher look on him, he is the current class student. So that is the situation which is going to come, all of us. Even the parenting is going to, reversal parent is going to, unless and until update. The mantra is all about unlearn, 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 unlearn. If we are not able to unlearn the word teacher, even our children are going to be mocking on us. We will be laughing stock of the everybody. The word teacher, that level of a problem you and me we are facing. Now you understand the serious why FDP is very important. Unless and until we do something, we didn't upgrade, it will be a trouble for us. Next slide, please. To set a context about the artificial intelligence, little more up. We have a Stephen Hawkins there. We have a Sundar Pichai. You are seeing what Stephen of little up there is a content I am not able to read. Manaji, just little. The Stephen Hawkins, there is a bottom, the words are there. I just need to read that. No, not able to read the put up, yeah. Okay, Stephen Hawking, what Stephen Hawking's prediction in the, this was his prediction. The development of a full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Sundar Pichai, he said that fear about artificial intelligence very legitimate. They are the people, they do the most investment in the AI. 50% of the AI researchers with them. Elon Musk, please follow the Elon Musk. He is the change maker of current. Artificial intelligence could be an immortal dictator and fundamental risk to the human being. Please follow the Elon Musk and you watch 1 or 2, 3 video of Elon Musk. It is good being a teacher to watch this. Then you understand how serious AI it is. Jack Ma again, please follow Jack Ma also. Tech revolution could cause third world war. Jack Ma say it may trigger third. Every industrial revolution create a world war. Now this also mostly bring the world war. The reason that when most of the people will lose their job, the world will have an unrest. It creates trouble. Later it triggered to war. Vladimir Putin, the most powerful individual guy, what he's saying, Putin saying that the nation that lead in AI will be the ruler of the world. So now you understand how AI, the context to set how AI is very important in our life, you and me. Next slide, please. So let us talk about our educational system. 21st century kids are being taught by 20th century teachers using 19th century curriculum technique on 18th century calendar. 18th century technique, 19th century curriculum, 20th century teachers, 21st century children. That is what you and me face problem. Like Mannaji said in the, people, why children are not respecting us. You can find the reason here. Next slide, please. you and me know the current educational system is this, children will go to the school and colleges, teacher will start to give, then tuition will give, or others started to give. It's all rote learning. End of the day, examination, he omit, we get graduation. If we ask what exactly, we forget everything. This is the current situation because our exam system is all about exam centric. One chapter we remove, nobody is going to learn that chapter because our grading system is accordingly. Next slide, please. Everybody knows that all we have seen this slide. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. So here the examination, see, giving content doesn't have a problem, but examination, 7.6 billion people looking all of our face, we understand we all are unique. Comparing children is a crime with the same examination. We need to change that system. If the same examination cannot create a Sachin Tendulkar, cannot create a APJ sir, cannot create a Amitabh Bachchan, the problem by looking our face, we all are unique. What kind of education do we really need? If you ask this question, I can tell you that we need a dynamic, individualized curriculum. Everyone required a curriculum and personalized dynamic curriculum and dynamic pedagogy. It has to change according to the mood. So we are working on a project the similar way through AI. It can be done. It is easy. It is not a problem. We can give a curriculum for individually. It is possible now. Next slide, please. This is from the internet. It is not mine. In every second, there is attempt also. Every 90 minutes, 3 hours, someone is dying in India because of the educational pressure. If you really look at what the current education system is, it is not mine. It is all from the internet. You can see that whom we are creating, the box thing. The one question I will ask you and me, we have all the prestigious institutions like IITs and IIM and ISBs, even kindergarten, LKG, UKG, we are taking recommendation, we are putting the best school. Now, the one question when we ask ourselves, after post-independent 1947, what is the outcome in terms of invention and innovation apart from APJ sir? APJ sir, which is there in the space, we are not considered as our educational outcome. What is there to be proud of an Indian in terms of invention and innovation in India to be proud of? You think about that. We people complain it's de-drain of brain. So we have done extensive research on that word. Even we understood all the rank. Every year we are clapping many rank holders. They all are in India. Search the rank holders. Those who are in 10th or 12th or graduation or PG or PhD. How many PhD we have in India? All they are here. Tell me one invention and innovation which you and me can be proud of. You think about that. What and all the invention, when we get the last science after C.V. Raman, we don't have a Nobel Prize in the science. So why it is happened? The entire our research was this. Now people say that it's de-drain of brain. We did analyze all the, why it happened, whether Sundar Pichai or Nadallar or Indra Nui, because we build all the world products. We are building, but we are not owning a single one. Why it is? We have done extensive research on that too. Next slide, please. Sorry. Little more up, please. From this, you can understand the evolution of a technology. The 100 years, we'll have an information mechanical system where the invention of a steam and which give us the industrial productivity, production engineer. These are the two outcomes. After information age, the last 2 decades came, what we got that process re-engineering we got actually. The product re-engineering and process re-engineering. Then we got an internet system, the last, we can say 15 years, the cost make down, the cost. Then global integrated enterprises created. Whoever think about anything, any business to start, even if he's having a laptop, but he's addressing this problem, addressing the solution to the world. It made possible. Now, currently, we are entering a cognitive system, which we call the AI, artificial intelligence. So this is the evolution of a technology. Next slide, please. Understanding the capabilities of a cognitive system, the technology can now mimic activity, perceiving, inferring, gathering evidence, making hypotheses, even reasoning. This is what humans do. Machine can now learn, adapt, sense, experience the world by mimicking the human senses in their own way. See, smell, touch, taste. These are the 5 senses we learn. Now technology can do better than all of us. Just go, please, next slide, please. So what is going to happen? Basically, it is going to happen. We are losing our job. Next slide, please. So according to the World Bank, 80%, it is not my word, it is all there. According to World Bank 2016 report, 80% of the people are going to lose their job. You can see in the internet, this is worse than global warming. Next slide, please. World education today, 70% of students chasing dying career. Remember that we are entering to a gig economy. A child will do now. Many of us, not the teachers, done at least 5 jobs. Okay, now in the future they will be doing minimum 20 to 30 jobs. Then what kind of a education we will be giving to them? Now industry, only 1 or 2% is the government is giving job. 90% of the job, 98% of the job is given by private company. Every business, the life cycle is from 25 years to came, it is 10 years. It is going to reduce 5 years, every business. Now, even we know that whatever first year we teach, third year it is outdated. 70% of the students are chasing dying career. All the company which they are aiming, 500 Fortune company, 40% is going to be dying within 3 years. Plus 60% of the Fortune, we are talking about Fortune company. 60% of going to be designing their survival strategy. Next slide, please. World education today, the biggest human resources tragedy. 85% of the jobs that will exist 2030 haven't been invented yet. It is not by word, it is a dull. Next slide, please. No job in the future. Next slide. Let us analyze why there is no job. Let us analyze theoretically why it is going to. Let us compare some of the industry. Next slide, please. 4th industrial revolution, you and me knows that. Next slide, please. See, first industrial revolution, it's steam engine came, mechanized production. Second industrial revolution, electricity, mass production. Third industrial revolution, automate the production. Next slide, please. So 4th industry, as we discussed earlier, artificial 3D printing, micro, nano, robotic, automated car, quantum computing. Fundamentally, it is affecting every human on earth. Even the guy who sells the fish, just you will be having an app in your hand. You press in the what kind of a fish you need. You just click. Same time, drone will go and take the live fish and bring back. It will the cost will be less than 70% of the guy who's selling the. You will get a live fish through the drone will pick up and come. Drone knows where the fish it is. Next slide, please. So we are exiting the fossil fuel era and the death of $1 trillion industry. We are entering to the behavioral data economy. Remember, behavioral data is the takeaway of today. Next slide, please. As we said that fossil fuel was controlling government war policies and pieces. Next slide, please. I'm just moving because I got a time deadline, right? Okay. So basically, it happened because of 3 technology. One is the fracking technology. Why oil industry is existing. Now we can extract the oil horizontally and vertically. Demand and supply is very high. Now the other side, it is going to the climate change is affecting 2 billion people. If we didn't control the only 2%, it may even take the life of a 2 billion people. Now alternative energy, solar is going to be 2035 absolutely free. It's going to come. These are the 3 reasons we are exiting from the oil. Next slide, please. These are the in automobile industry is the largest industry which is giving job every 6 people. See, very simple logic how we are going to lose there. We have 8 billion people. We have a 2.5 billion vehicles. 8 billion people, you know, children keep it apart. The 8 people keep it apart. How much people are, you can understand. Out of these 2 billion people are into the, they are drivers and connected with the automobile. We have a 2.5 billion vehicle. Put 0.5 billion as a personal vehicle. We have a 2 billion commercial vehicle. It is 100% we are sure about that it is going to be automated. There is no doubt, everybody agreed it's the automation of a driverless car or vehicle. So what will happen? Who is going to give these 2 billion? We know that the people are not educated. They'll go for a taxi driver, Ola driver, the, you know, auto rickshaw driver. What will be the future? You can understand now. Who is going to give the 2 billion? It doesn't need any rocket science to understand why the job is going. Now what and all the technology is going to come, redefining the automobile. The first thing is going to be drone. You can see the picture. It is already introduced in Dubai. Not everybody is scared about that. The reason not because of the risk. See, now the future transportation doesn't need a road at all. Road is going to be monument. We can play football and cricket in the future. Drone is already ready. It can be 3D printed. It's a high level of safety there. Every year, 1.29 million people are dying due to accident. Even corona cannot kill that much people. If we did this drone, what we can do that nobody is going to die. It saved 1.29 million died. It's a high level safety is there. There is no traffic. There is you can reach. It will come when the like a Ola Uber. You just call, press that. It will come to your balcony. You get inside. You can be dropped within 5 or 10 minutes. Then the Hyperloop is coming, which is already you can check in the internet. This year, I think they are implementing in Dubai to Abu Dhabi. This is the third revolution. Fourth is rocket in commercial. It is 30,000 kilometers per hour. So anywhere in the world, we need only 35 to 40, maximum 1 hour to go. Even you can go America and come back within 3 hours with less than 3,000 rupees. Next slide, please. So you understand where the jobs are going. Now, if you look into the manufacturer, and this is that same picture, Foxconn, where even the mobile Apple building, same picture in a day, 60,000 people, or replaced by. See the picture, you can understand. Next slide, please. See, we think that agriculture is automation is going to be very heavy, because even the food, the demand, and we have a limitation of our eye. Now the drone and the camera can do better scanning and go and address everything. Even the blockchain, if I want to do the agriculture, I can sit from there, buy land through the blockchain anywhere in the world, and take a rent drone, scan the area, understand what kind of a soil, what kind of a sunlight is getting there. I can do the agriculture by sitting from here, and that kind of a changes is coming. Precision agriculture technology adoption is going to come. So agriculture is automation is going to be widely now. Next slide, please. Even see all the human organs are going to be printed by, or even the heart is printing. Car, see this car is printed by 3D. Pizza, see the food, 60 to 70% of the food is going to be printed by 3D printing. See Dubai, the building which we have done 3D printing. See the dresses, 3D printing. Even the diamond, the best diamond is going to be 3D printed. Next slide, please. See, supply chain, this is going to be, there is no driver. You can see from the screen, this is the supply chain. So just imagine Swiggy, all these drivers kind of how it is going to be. The supermarket also will come auto to you. You can pick it. All the scanning will be through your eye. When you make the payment, smile, the payment will happen. Next slide, please. Even we don't need the banking in the future, but banks in the future, we need a banking. Digital banking, blockchain, cryptocurrency means no banks in the future. Next slide, please. So what is going to happen? Artificial intelligence, design stage, we need a human. This is the supply, basically the chain. If you really look at artificial in design stage, we need a human. But production stage, 3D printing and robot is going to be handled. Delivery by drone. So mass job loss is going to. So mass production, agriculture, the labor intensive side, automobile, infrastructure, transport, and all were human centered entities, which were major job providers. These are going to get completely disrupted during the AI. When AI design, 3D printing, and robotic manufacturing, drone carry, where do human have role? This is the biggest. This is a deadly combination of AI design and 3D printing combined with the drone delivery. Next slide, please. See, we think that, okay, IT, see the code, just read it. It's a Google word, not my word. Google AI can create a code better than the researchers who made it. So we don't need code writing people. Majority of the IT people are code writing people. We don't need. So 60% of the job are at stake. Next slide, please. So 70% of all job accessing in India and 80% of the all jobs globally is going to be before 2030 susceptible for automation. Next slide, please. So will you survive? The question is, will you survive the fourth industrial revolution? What skill will guarantee the future? Is your job safe? Are we equipping for ourselves for what? Will your education save you in this disruptive era? Are we equipping our children for what? This is the question. Next slide, please. Massive unemployment in millions is going to come. Oil industry, information technology taken care of, both are going to be no more. Next slide, please. See, some of the, this is a robot which I interviewed. I think my time is already 3:05. Next speaker has to this. I'm not sure. It is very difficult to discuss.
You can take as much as time you want, no problem. Up to 3:30 even you can go, no issue. Please.
No issue,
please.
Right?
Very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. See, if you really look into these are the robot which I interview. It is very difficult to understand robot or humans. That is the problem which is going to come. So we cannot even, we think that robot doesn't have an emotion. No, robot have an emotion. Robot have a facial expression more than 600. We don't have that. We don't know how to do that expression. Now I'll give an example. When I interview that, when I go there in the JITEX, that is greeting me. How are you, Shahid? They scan my eyes. They got the data. How was your flight from Mumbai to Dubai yesterday? Emirates Acad 63. You enjoy well. See, it's having all the data. Now you and me go to see someone, we don't know about him. AI knows everything about him. So it behave with me like 20 years he knows me. He is talking all my favorite thing. He's putting content accordingly. Okay, I'll go. Okay, next slide, please. I have the video. I'll share with your group. If there is any group, add me. I'll share you, most of the interviews and stuff. You will get a more idea. So what is going to happen? 40% of the Fortune company will be meaningless in the coming decade. AI touches almost every aspect of our life and IT is, it only started. People have no idea how fast things are moving. Undisclosed Silicon Valley CEO said. Next slide, please. Okay, being a teacher, let us understand the AI little depth. Okay, AI is a buzzword now, but AI is there in academic in 1956. The first AI conference in 1956, the people in Dartmouth College, Carnegie Mellon University, the people who have attended Allen Newell, Carnegie Mellon University, Herbert Simon, Carnegie Mellon University, John McCarthy, Carnegie, Mervyn Minsky, and Arthur Samuel, and IBM founder. These are the people who attended this artificial intelligence, the first AI conference in 1956. Next slide, please. So if you look, these are the people we know. Alan Turing Award and all. Many people knows that. Many professors will be coming from the computer background. The guy who coined this word is John McCarthy. He was the co-founder of AI Lab in MIT. Now Stanford AI Lab founder, along with Mervyn Minsky. Mervyn Minsky was the AI Lab in MIT. So these are the notable people. Earlier we got the AI. Just next slide, please. Okay, two greatest mystery of all the science, brain and universe. So basically, what is this AI is all about? Okay, now we human, we want always, as I told you, the productivity. We want to create something like human brain. So we have a 80 to 100 billion neurons. So we have created an artificial neuron. 80 to 100 billion neurons. Each neuron have a two function. One is compartmental function and orchestrational function. So similar way, we scientists created artificial neurons to augment our intelligence. So it's all about AI is all about augmenting intelligence, extending our intelligence. Similar way, we don't know 80 now those who are even treating the brain, it's all hypothesis. Only we have a human have a knowledge about 5% of the knowledge about the brain. Even if you ask to the people how many brain we have, most of us will say that we have only one brain. We have a three brain actually. We have a head brain, we have a gut brain, we have a heart brain. Even the neuroscience who is operating here doesn't know. This is one greatest mystery to decode yet, which is where AI is opening up this. The second is universe. When we compare the universe and the earth, earth is only a dot. We need to think about why we need a AI. We need a AI to understand the universe, and majority of us, we don't know who we are. We didn't apply to any god. Our parents is our not choice. Our children are not our choice. Our children are not our choice. Our environment are not our choice. Our death is not our choice. Our genetic is not our choice. The question then who we are and why we are. So all this answer we are going to get because of the AI. So AI can give all the answer who we are. AI is going to decode everything. Next slide, please. So type of artificial intelligence. We have three type of artificial intelligence. The first one we call it as a narrow intelligence. It's same like we are copying the brain neurons. Each neuron have a two function, individual function and compartmental function. Now, which and all the AI which we have currently today solving one problem. So like speech recognition, solving one problem. Driverless car, solving one problem. But we human do, we speak, we walk, we talk, we'll do hundreds of things. So what and all the AI which we have, it is we call it as artificial narrow intelligence. Second, intelligence. See, this slide is very important. I'll tell you why also. From this, you understand why humans are going to lose their job. AGI is the word which is scary actually. Artificial general intelligence. According to Dr. Ray Kurzweil, I'm just repeating the word Dr. Ray Kurzweil. Spelling, if my thing is correct, it is RayKurzweil. You all have to watch him, follow him. He is the director of a Google AI. He is the ultimate thinking mission. His accuracy of a prediction is 86 to 87%. He have done 150 prediction. According to his prediction, AGI is going to happen downline 3 to 5 years. Means within 5 years. What is AGI mean? Artificial intelligence is going to get the going to surpass the human intelligence, which is equal or better than. When AI will get a intelligence equal or better than human being, what is going to happen? Human will start to lose the job. We need to take care of family. We don't know what is the world around. AI can do everything within seconds. It can go any risky weather. So it have all the, and it can replicate in seconds. So this is the reason everybody predicting 20, 30, 80% of the job is going to be obsolete. Artificial super intelligence, which is expected 2040 or 35 to in between, prediction is 35 to 50. What does it mean that now we have only a 7.6 to 8 billion people? Artificial intelligence, $1,000 computer will have a capability of a 1 trillion human brain. It's like a god. This stage called technological singularity. We are a company addressing this technological singularity. If it happened, just imagine $1,000 computer having a brain of a 1 trillion human. It's a God power. Okay, how to handle this situation? This is what we are researching. Next slide, please. So stages of AI, the artificial narrow intelligence, what capability which we got? Image recognition, speech recognition, text mining, a different sort of than the human intelligence. We know we see majorly thing we understand through image recognition, through eyes and the speech and the ear on the text. Now AI already got this power, the AI wave first. The AI wave 2, artificial general intelligence, what kind of a capability? Adapt new problem, creative improvisation, generalization, from small data, human-like autonomy, generalization coupled with narrow AI power. So basically, it can learn by himself is the biggest. What human do? We make mistake, we learn, we improve. Same power, artificial intelligence is going to get. It is downline 3 to 5 years. It is scary. Okay, the third part, artificial super intelligence, ASI, is self-programming. It's beyond human comprehension. We cannot understand in the future, like if we are in a strange city, we are just tell the Google map to go. We will not think about it. We don't have any second thought, right? If it's own city, we will not put, but if it is a strange, similar like in the economy, in the accounting, we will just blindly believe, we are going to believe blindly the AI. Next slide, please. So one page about AI, what is this AI about? It's all about what human do. We are extracting useful pattern from data, that is the AI. How it is doing neural network and optimization, similar like human do. How practical, it's a Python is the software, you and me. TensorFlow is the library. How hard part, similar like how we check our intelligence. We need to ask the children or the people good question and good, they need experience. It means good data. Hard part is always these two. Why now? Data, hardware, community tool investment are huge. This is the reason. Even the cloud computing became low. This is the reason. The AI base is cloud computing because we can store huge data and analyze. Where do we stand? Most of the big question intelligence have not been answered, not properly formulated. See, exciting progress. You can see all this is already deep learning, which we have done. Face recognition, image classification, you can read. I'll be sharing this slide. I think Manna sir can share this slide. Any doubt, my number will be there. You can approach. Next slide, please. So building an AI system, olden days, it was all about rule based. We know that in a washing machine, this much water, this much powder and cloth, it was rule. Latest that machine learning, even though deep learning or AI is a part of a machine learning is like a similar like a doctor based on the pattern. If when we go to the doctor asks what is the symptom, based on he gives the medicine. So machine learning was that. What is the deep learning, the AI difference and the machine learning? It's like a human. It learned by itself. It's not code. It's algorithms. We human make mistake. We learn from the mistake. Which is self-programming. Its algorithm is accordingly. That is the difference of deep learning AI. Machine learning and AI, that is the difference. One is the pattern based, the other one is self-programmed. Next slide, please. So what we need to do, see, in India, now we all are teaching to the children machine learning, data science, or all this. There is no use unless and until we have a practical places. We don't have AI companies in India. When we talk about AI, the one thing it has to come in your mind, it's all about data. Huge data, huge data. AI means data. Huge data, huge data, huge data, huge data, huge data, huge data. AI, anybody say you are an AI company, you have to ask how much data you have, what kind of a data you have. So if you really look, all the company got the investment, whether it's a Ola, Uber, it's a transportation domain. Swiggy, all the Uber Eats, these big companies are into the food domain. Or they have a one domain huge data. So what is AI is all about? You remember this, one single domain, huge amount of data, huge data, huge data, huge data, one single domain, huge data, computing power. We have a 4G or 5G anyway it will come. And we need a PhD mathematician kind of a people, AI expert we call. So together we can replace anything in the world. We can make a super performance. This is all about AI. So I'm repeating, it's all about one domain. If anybody want to become a billionaire, why you need to understand why Reliance is become a richer guy. That is the one and only company in India have a behavioral data. There is no now TCS or Infosys or Wipro. They are not AI companies. We are talking about the data. How many companies in India have a data, huge data? That is the game. If you want to become a millionaire or billionaire, create a data in one domain. It's all about one domain data, huge amount of one single domain, huge amount of data, and train the system. And you will have anyway. We will get the computing power. We'll get the expert. It's all about collecting one domain data. So AI going to disrupt the world. AI is doing everything, playing golf, diagnosing cancer, winning debate. You can read later stage. This slide will be shared in your group. Next slide, please. So these are the four ways come the internet AI. The first wave, Google, Facebook, Alibaba, Tencent came make money. Later we understood I agree means selling us. We all do anything I agree, I agree. Later we understand it's mean we are selling us behavioral data. So banks, insurance companies, and brokers, they understood and they have started to make. Now we are entering to perception AI. Majority we human do through our eyes and the ears. Now AI got that power, facial recognition, smart speaker. This is going to be change a huge revolution. The fourth AI, this is all going to happen this 10 years. Full automation is going to come. Agriculture going to be automated. Manufacturing going to be, or e-commerce, fast food, everything going to be automated. Next slide, please. So where is the sad part? If you really look into 19 and 2000, is there is any, why I said there is no AI company? Can you tell me any Indian company there in this? No Indian company. This is where we are making mistake. Behavioral data is the economy, but we don't have an AI company. Nobody is putting us in the right direction. So even though we created a lot of children, similar like we done biotechnology and all similar, like they don't get the job. Children are not going to get the see machine learning, all these algorithms, it's all like a layman job in the future. It's all plug and play. How much time to learn Python. So it is not about the teaching the people. It's all about, it's like a artificial intelligence is like a tool, like electricity. We don't need a university to learn electricity, right? So it's a tool. Now what we need to understand, we have to take the each industry how it is going to apply. That's what we have to teach them. Not about the Python or data. Each industry segment we have to take, and we have to take. This is where everybody is making in the India, no direction in the AI side. Next slide, please. So this is, I already explained, that is what is saying the go board, that already I said 40 days, how AI learned, the algorithm learned and defeated Lee Sedol. Computing in 1 week can do 20,000 years worth of a human level research. Next slide, please. Dr. Manna, you can stop me anytime. There is no issue, okay?
Yes, I will. No problem. Please carry on.
Okay. Okay. You can, I am taking more time. I understand that. You can stop me anytime. So 1997, 15,000 watt, which we have used to defeat the IBM Watson Deep Blue, Kasparov defeated. And 2011 Jeopardy, knowledge-based competition, the best two guys, we have used 200,000 watt. Now 2016 Lee Sedol, we have used 300,000 watt. See, we human have a 20 watt. Now I don't know how much watt currently Google is using. Next slide, please. So we are going to leave the future. Why we need, even though all the risk is there, what AI is going to bring you? Just imagine. This is the positive side I am talking about. Now these are the just little up to read the slide. Now these are the scarcity. Basically, we have energy, water scarcity, health, learning, time, money, expense. These are the scarcity. All these are going to be absolutely free. Just imagine, energy free, good water free, healthcare free, learning free. You will have enough time, money free. You are going to get money free, expertise free. All the resources is going to be free. It is not going to be increase the price. It's all about decrease. Everything because of the AI. AI is going to be a kind of a utopian world if it gets to the right people. All you will get with this free. Next slide, please. See, according to the money price part, 15.7 trillion money is going to bring by AI. But the sad part, India is not going to get this money because in India, we don't have AI companies. Next slide, please. See, if you are not Uber yourself, you will be Kodak. You know what I mean, that unless and you and me did unlearning. I'm repeating, being a teacher, the biggest ecosystem problem is teachers now. We are socially audited. Now parents are auditing us when we take the classes because it's recorded forever. So unless you Uber yourself, you will be Kodak. Next slide, please. See, from this slide, we can understand to become a billionaire, Generation Z doesn't need anything other than that. If you really look at the one is year, then the other is the company. To take to come up a olden days to become $1 billion company, we need 100 years, lakhs of people. Now Google came in 1998. It took around 8 to 9 years to make a $1 billion company. Facebook 2004 came. It is only 7 years. Tesla came around 3-4 years. Uber came. You see, the companies making $1 billion. WhatsApp, how many? 1.5. Insta, to Oculus. All these people are born in you and me the last 2 decades. See that Pokemon made 4 week $4 billion. To become $1 billion company, we don't need anything. We need only our brain and geodata. Brain, geodata, and one laptop enough to become. You can kill any companies in the world. All the companies going to die. You don't need any. Next slide, you will understand more what I'm saying. Next slide, please. See, founded in 1868, Tata, we have to salute the contribution, Tata, which we have done, the whole India today because of the data. But the sad part is what is going to happen. Founded in 1868, many vertical employees, 700,000, more than 100 countries, valuation 110 billion. See, a new company with children and is founded in 2010, Kevin Mike. 1868 started company 2010. Many vertical, one vertical. Employee 700,000, employee 13 employee. All countries, valuation 100. To make a $1 billion company bigger than Tata is required only now 1 or 2 years. You don't need much here. See, similar model, WhatsApp also we know. So we don't need any past history, grandparent, or we cannot blame the God. We cannot blame the country. We cannot blame the economy. We cannot blame our parents. Anybody, they can make $1 billion by sitting from the home with the mobile. It's all about thinking we have to change. Next slide, please. See, disruptive business model have changed. This is where we educators are facing problem. Ola, Uber doesn't have any taxi. They are the largest taxi company. Facebook, Instagram, they are not creating any content. We create content. They are the media company. We know Alibaba, they don't have any inventory. They are the largest retail company. Netflix, they are the largest movie company. They are not creating any movies. Oyo and Airbnb, they are not. They don't have any room. They are the largest hotel. So what mean that business model is changing? Whatever we are teaching in our book doesn't make any sense for anybody. Next slide, please. See, platformization is going. Instead of product, we need to make a platform. And Google is a platform. We are the one who creating content. Facebook is a platform. We are the giving content. WhatsApp is a platform. We are giving content. Instagram is a platform. We are giving content. LinkedIn is a platform. Uber and Ola, it's also platform. Flipkart, Amazon, all these companies going to rule the world. So when you do business, we need to create a platform, not the product. That is the future. Next slide, please. So any age, people say my company have 100 years, my sale is $1 billion, brand equity, reputation, that nothing is going to work now. All are going to die. Any company, unless and until they unlearn, relearn, and continuous learning. The 21st century mantra, especially we teachers, unlearn, and relearn. the fresh thing. What and all you have in your head, it is deleted first. It won't work. Even your own children is not going to respect you. Next slide, please. See, in the business, as I told you, majority of the Fortune company, this is Rogers bell curve. According to this, majority of the company is going to die. So it means all the new generation have an opportunity to make billion-dollar company. Next slide, please. See, if you really look into the 2011 to 2015 billion, this is the billion-dollar company. How many billion-dollar companies are coming? Olden days to create a billion, and now to make a billion-dollar, you need only laptop and one or two guys. By sitting the home, they can do that. So all the resources is freely available. So any children can, you don't need any background or anything, can make a billion-dollar. You can convert your student to make a billion-dollar company. Next slide, please. See what is going to happen in the world. It is not about humans are going to connect. Internet users are 2025, 8 billion. The entire population is going to be. It is not only connecting. See, IoT, you know that you all are professors, connected devices. How many? In 2020, 250 billion, 500 billion. Connected sensors, 1 trillion. It is not going to be human. Everything on earth is going to be connected. Our dresses is going to be IoT based. All the table, chair, everything in the world is going to be connected. Even we communicate with animals. Next slide, please. See, each slide I can take a 1 hour class. This is, I know that I'm bombarding, sorry for that. Okay, accelerating. What is the end outcome? Faster, cheaper computing power. It's everything cheaper. Networks and sensors, synthetic biology, robotics, 3D printing, VR and AR, artificial intelligence, blockchain. What the outcome is coming? All because a new business model is changed. This is the reason all the business people are going to lose the job, and people are going to lose the job. So new business, this is the reason 80% of job yet to be invented. The reason existing company is going to die, new company is going to come. So we don't know when, what, how. Next slide, please. See what the technology came. These are in our life, the people, those who are in 40s and 50s. These are our lifestyle product. Now children, everything it's all free. It is there in their mobile. So what technology is dematerializing things, making free everything. Next slide, please. See, even the diamond is going to be free kind of a model, $5 maximum, the best diamond. Even the gold is going to get free in the future. Next slide, please. See, aging is a medical condition now. Remember, even the World WHO 2019 declared aging is a medical condition. We can edit our death in the future. I'm not even the corona. We have a lot of story. We don't have time to talk about why it is and how it's all connected with AI. I can talk about a huge lecture on that, the AI and corona connection. So next slide, please. So even the cancer we can eliminate it from the dictionary, because 17 years to 20 it take. We can find out in the early stage through the chip from the bathroom or the mirror. We can shoot the cell level. So in the future, all the Parkinson's or cancer, it all won't be there in the future. We are going to be a diseaseless human being. So after 2 decades, it is going to be a utopia because of the AI. It's all because of happening AI. We are entering to a world diseaseless human being. Next slide, please. See, neural light is going. How we are going to address the AI? You can see the limbic system and the neocortex. In between, we are bringing a chip. We are connecting interface. This is where the merging of a human to technology, interfacing cloud computing to the brain. So you can see the third picture where the device is there. So even the language is obsolete. See, I'm talking about language. We don't need in the future language. You can see all this in data. It is there, the internet. We will be having a verbal communications in the future. It's going to happen. See, what AI is going to bring is equality, not inequality. See, these are the threats currently. We have privacy, security, bias from data, dominance, wealth, inequality, job. All this will solve the AI. Next slide, please. So two area we need to think about. Only AI doesn't have a creativity and no love. These are the two area where we'll have a job. Next slide, please. We have divided all the jobs. See, we have done extensive research on all the job in the world. We have a books about that. It's a 4,000 page. It talk about every job which year will be over. Okay, we have done the 5 category of a job. So, okay, go ahead. Artificial intelligence is love, romance with learning, humanity, and from unsolvable. Artificial intelligence is going to solve all the problems of humanity, increasing lifespan, solving all unsolvable problems, changing perspective of life and purpose. Artificial intelligence is the last invention humanity need. I am ending with this slide. Next slide. One more slide, please. See, we need to keep in mind the word job. It is created by an industrial era for the assembly line to create a mass production. We human exist for not for job. We can live without job. We human here to share and care love, not for job. There is a possibility we can live without job. You know how much fund we are investing on the defense. Our each the country's 40 to 50%. That 10% is enough to live lavishly. We don't need army now. AI will be taking care of that. It's all human is creating trouble. So I'm ending this. Thank you very much, guy, giving me an opportunity. I'm leaving to yes, Dr. Manna.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor Shahid, that you have taken my request so positively. Immediately you responded and you came to the very first day and you given an amazing talk. I am already a fan of you and many more are becoming a fan today. I still remember your PPTs are always in demand. In Dubai also, when you completed your talk and the people were chasing, sir, I need your presentation. I need the presentation. The same thing is happening over here. So I'll quickly take some questions. Those are already in the chat box. So in that way, we can go further because our Honorable Dean Academics, Professor Arora, already have joined us, who is going to take a next session, as well as he is going to give the very good responsibility to give you special thanks to be visiting virtually to my institution, virtually to NIT Uttarakhand. So, okay, there is one question coming from, we know the future. Oh, actually, they are not stopping to be putting a chat. It runs fastly. I think if they already have noted, Sachin or Dr. Mahiraj can read out if they have noted down the question on their noteboard, so they can come and read the question, please. Because people are writing on the chat box, so it quickly runs. On the moment I'm just going to read, it quickly runs. Yeah, we human only creating all the AI, then we can control these at crucial points where humankind is getting affected. How to do, oh look, again it went. How to do that, any ethical considerations? Ethical considerations.
I got the point. See, the question is that we human invented everything, how it is going to be threatened. Definitely, it's a very good, very good question. See, any invention and innovation come, the negative side is there. Later it will be positive. We are very optimistic. We are going to control later stage. Like in banking, the money come. So we were the people, the old people. We are still scared about transferring money, through the G-Talk or anything. The children is doing. Now we don't have any much, even though the frauds are happening. Similar way, AI will create some threat in the initial stage, but we are optimistic. This is what we are neural lace we are talking about. So it is going to create a inequality, not equality, from inequality to equality. It is going to solving all the trouble. You just imagine, nobody can fool you, because AI will give that power. AI will take care of to ensure, it will help you to understand all your strength and apply 100%, ensure 100% your happiness. It will cover your all the weakened area, it cover you. That kind of a world is we are going to get. So AI not going to be a threat in the future. I am very optimistic on that.
Good. Dr. Japun is asking, as per the IBM, 70 million jobs will be lost in near future, but 133 million new jobs will be created in AI. What is your opinion? How you will take it like?
Now, what I am trying to say, why do we need a job? See, majority of the job is a slavery. When you have a things which is free, absolutely, if you can live free, see, the future is going to be like the people, everybody, kind of a UBI is going to it. You can put in the word universal basic income, or we say unconditional basic. Every country you will give the money. India, I don't know, still the leaders has to come up a model where you and me will be working, where we get the money when we serve the human. This is what we really need. So when you take care of the old people, we will get the money. That is the model is going to come. We don't need to work. We need to remove from our lens the work, the definition of it. We think that we define work is everything. We are going to be evolved from there. We are going to help each other. We get the money. That is the model. Is the future is going to come.
Yeah.
We can
If
survive
AI
without.
overpower
Yeah, go ahead.
what human beings are going to do. If AI overpower what human beings are going to do.
See, we will control the, see, like, we need to explore, as I told you, we only, when we compare the earth and universe, we are only a one dot sitting and talking about, we know everything. We don't know anything in the about it. We don't know who we are even. It's all mystery. AI will make us to learn everything, will help us to do everything and explore. It's all the problem which we have. That kind of a life we need. And it will make all of our life easier. And just imagine, you can live a kind of 150, 200 years without any aging. You can stop your aging. So that kind of a life AI is giving. We don't need to be scared. AI is going to be good. Only a little bit scared about that any revolution happened. Now, when in steam engine find out, British came and British and Japan colonized. Now what is happening? AI have only few people in hand. They are going to colonize. But later revolution come, we all will understand this problem. Someone is colonizing us through digitally. But we will create revolution and we'll get it back. History says that. So we don't need to worry about AI.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last question quickly. I will take it. Please, nobody has to be allowed to be come on the mic or this thing. Only Dr. Sarabjit Kaushal, please mute your mic. Organizers, please mute all. Sachin, mute all. Thank you. Thank you. I'll do myself. Okay. So the last question quickly, I'm going to take it for Dr. Shahid. You have mentioned that 80% of the people will lose their job. Okay. In which are the sectors? Is it in IT? That is the last question.
See, it's all about the stage by stage will go. See, there is no job 100% will go. It's a level of a percentage level. It's depend upon every job have a certain task, mundane, repeated. So what is going to happen that we are also trying come up a model. What we have done, we have taken all the jobs in the world, put a task list on that, and put a which category, which task is ending which year. So we are redesign the designate. The future education is going to be now, for example, we have a test. It's called AI job risk test. They have to come and do the test. Then we'll tell you, these are your capabilities. You are in this industry, this much will go. In your industry, what kind of upskilling and reskilling? Now, straight away going and now what is happening in the world? People are going and upskilling without, they don't know what to do. Now we are coming up with a model. He will go and test first. What is the future? Because we know which job will go, which job will come. Based on, we will give a courses for in online. This is the model which is going to come. There is no job 100% we can obsolete. It's all about depend of the, see, the 80% is a maximum AI can take. 20 still remains.
Absolutely, absolutely. Really, I'm really grateful to you for answering all the questions so quickly, and you have given a session. This session could have been for a one day, which you have concised. You have squeezed to the 1.5 hours, and you justified all 84 slides which you sent to me has been displayed and has been discussed and has been deliberated by you in a very nicely. I request Professor A.S. Arora, Dean Academics from my SLIET Longowal, to become on as mic as well as on camera to please give a vote of thanks to our eminent speaker, Professor Shahid, who have come all the way virtually to be deliver the session from maybe sometimes Dubai or sometimes US, because he is a very traveling person. Thank you. Over to you, Professor Arora.
Okay, thank you, Professor Manna. On behalf of Sant Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology, Longowal, and NIT Uttarakhand. I extend warm thank you to Dr. Shahid for his insightful talk on AI. I think every listener has been able to see the what is coming in future. What will be the AI? How it is going to affect our lives, and how the things will be in future, and what type of job will be there or what type of job will not be there. Some idea we have got, and I was seeing some of the slide I could see on the way because I have joined late. Excellent slides, and you could give them the path for the future. I think in 1 hour's time you cannot show the future the way you have shown. So I congratulate Dr. Shahid for excellent talk, and hope that the listeners will be benefited immensely. And I can see the chat window. There are so many comments about Dr. Shahid, who said that it was an excellent talk, and they could get so many inputs from this. And even the questions are very, very interesting. And this is, I think, future is very, very interesting. I cannot comment more on that. So thank you, Professor Shahid, Dr. Shahid, who has joined us online, and he has been doing a great job provoking people, young minds, to do something what future is ahead of us. So thank you very much, Dr. Shahid.
Thank you, everybody. We are on a mission to build India, to serve the world. Join the nation building project. We are all one. We have to put together and save the country for this unprecedented situation. So we are there. For my number is, you can take the PPT, what and all the knowledge. Thank you. Thank you for any mistake I am for asking the point. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shahid. Please receive our small token of love in the form of appreciation certificate, which is displayed, which will reach to you by email as well as by post. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We
Thank
will
you,
be
everybody.
connected. Thank you. Thank you. So now, dear participants, as the session was a very powerful session, you have attended this, although it was for AI, because I purposely put this session at the beginning, because where we are going, when we are talking about the teacher for new tomorrow, so we are talking about the readiness. Do you think that same chalk and duster? Of course, chalk and duster will be the part of our life for years and years. I'm not going to replace, but the digital mindset has to be there. Without digital mindset, if you're going to the class, if you're not going to be going with the latest technologies, you will not make the justice to our learners, because they are looking we people as their role model. So now, why we are discussing all this and why this FDP has been designed? You must be thinking articles, topics of the FDP. Now this session, the session which is going to be taken by our own Dean Academics, Professor A.S. Arora, the glimpses of the new education policy. I'm sure from last 4 months you are typing COVID-19 many times on a Google to download the status of the COVID-19. Have you ever downloaded NEP-19? Have you ever bothered to download the PDF file by Government of India given in the last year in month of October, 30 days to all the stakeholders? Go through with that if you want some change, if you want some modifications, interpretations, so we can communicate. So now I think it's in the final shape, and any day, any moment, it is going to be get published by the Parliament, our honorable Parliament of the country. So what national education policy says and what our FDP says, you will see how it is mapped, how it is jointly working. That's what we are here. So now I just request our one of my colleague from NIT Uttarakhand to please read the brief bio of our Dr. A.S. Arora, to introduce Professor Dr. A.S. Arora, although he is a host also because he is a Dean Academics at SLIET Longowal. But it is our always privilege and proud to be making his introduction amongst the participants. Yes, my friend, please, Dr. Mahiraj or maybe Dr. Gupta. Yeah, Dr. Gupta, please.
This is Trivana Gupta. Thank you, sir. Now we welcome our next speaker, Dr. Ajasatru Arora, Professor in the Department of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering, SLIET Longowal. So he is working as a professor since 2007 in SLIET Longowal, and He got 2 book chapters, 34 journals, and 50 conferences. And in the research, he has awarded 4th PhD thesis, and 8 PhD students are continuing under him. And he has awarded 22 theses for MTech students, and 2 are undergoing. And he is currently working in biomedical engineering, energy management, and microprocessor based system. And so I welcome you, sir, to deliver your lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Gupta. And now, Professor Arora, it's your stage, and you can share your screen. At the bottom, you will find a switch because your organizer already have been made by the organizers. So please take your own time. Thank you for joining. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible to us.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So good afternoon, participants. I will be talking on the, as the mandate says, I will talking the National Education Policy to 2019. This is my honest admission that I am not a authority on the subject, but yes, as a teacher, I have certain views, and beyond that views, I have compiled what is written in this policy. And everybody of us who is either a student or a faculty member should be concerned about what the education policy of our country says, and in which direction we will be going into the future. Because if you have heard few things about the Macaulay and the English people tried to control India, what they have thought of the role of education. So any country can be controlled by the mindset of the people, and the mindset is built through the education system of the country. So now we have to see what our leaders think about what should be the role of education and how this will progress in our country. Although these online presentations are very one-sided, but I will seek help of Sachin and Dr. Manpreet to make it a little bit of interactive session, because all the people who are joining this particular course are somewhere related, and they must be having a thought process about what should be the what are the things which need to be changed, or what are the things which need to be enhanced in our education system in our country. So I will seek their help maintaining this, that we could get some of your ideas on the way also. But I am formally starting my presentation, that is on education policy of proposed draft. It is still not taken up, as Dr. Manna has rightly said, that it is to be still to be taken up as a bill or a law in the country. But yes, policy document is there. The last year government invited, they gave 30 days time to the people to discuss about the policy and give their opinions. Even in at Sant Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology, we had one-day workshop on national education policy, and that was my only interaction with the education policy, because I was the presenter at that particular time, and I managed the show of presenting the national education policy to the faculty in my institute. That way I got to know about these things, and we had a very lively session of say 4 hours discussing what are the points which have been put in national education policy. Now the Please bear with me that I am new to this platform, so I will be doing something. And
Can you play that?
I want to minimize. I am not able to see the full slide, so
yes. At the bottom, sir, as we run the PowerPoint slideshow, just button that, click that slideshow button.
I should go for the slideshow, full.
Yes, sir. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Now my top window is there.
You will be not looking your face or anybody's face. Your screen will be showing only slide. That's it. Exactly, sir.
Okay. But
there
is another window on the way that I want to minimize. Actually.
That you have to put it to the side, dragging to the side. You have to drag it to the side, or you can minimize it. You can minimize it, sir.
I will drag it, and then
yes, that's it. You know the Jugaad technology always works, sir.
I will keep on shifting these things. Okay. Now the education policy has two key terms. One is the education, another is the policy. Now everybody of us have a certain idea about what education is all about. So I have got one quote from Mr. Young, who says education is the power to think clearly, the power to act well in the world's work, and the power to appreciate life. So he says that education gives you the power to think clearly. That is a very, very important point of it. It is not about doing the things, how you do the things, but how you think about the things. Means what is right, what is wrong. You can question the things, you can answer the things, and you can raise queries, you can learn on the way. So it is, education is not about saying that you can plug this thing or that thing, but your ability to think. So that is a very, very important aspect. Means we are not there to spoon feed the things to the our wards or the students, but we have to develop their thinking power. That is the main aim of the education, so that they can appreciate life to the fullest. So this is the one definition I have got, and I liked it, that this is the way I think education should be defined. Then other term in this case is it is policy. So what is the policy is, you can see that it is a dictionary meaning of the policy, which says it is a set of idea or plan what to do in particular situation that has been agreed to officially by a group of people, a business organization, a government, or a political party. So in this case, this is officially agreed to by the government when by taking the consent or the ideas or the views of all the stakeholder into the system. So this is the policy draft which we will be discussing. So there have been several education policies in India after independence, and we will see what was the trend in earlier policies and what changes this particular policy has brought to the table. So that will be very, very important for all the educators to think about what government is thinking, the government of the day is thinking about the
at bottom left hand side. Yes, you can change your slide.
Okay, the first policy after independence in education policy came in 1968. Then we have another policy 1986, and then a national policy in 1992. These are the three major policies before this policy which has come in 2019. These have been three major policies, and on the way we had in 2009 one Right to Education Act in between, from 1992 to 2019. In between, in 2009 we have a Right to Education Act which has impacted the education system in India. But prior to that, after independence, first policy came in 1968. So why we are discussing this thing, that how the shape of the country changes with the ideas their leaders take, and how they implement the education policies, and what they think about the education. So first two policies, one is in 1968 and one is in 1986. You will see I have listed the bullet points of these policies, and you will find that these two policies were heading towards the inclusiveness of the things. Inclusiveness of the things is how the major portion of the society can be put on the map of education. Means everybody, the large portion, it was felt in 1968 and 1986 that large portion of the population is not getting the benefits of the education, and it is out of reach from them. So what they think, our leaders at that particular time, they said that education, you can read it 1968, they said that extending the prospect of education to all the sections of the society to accomplish the goal of harmony and integration. It is, I think, the goal at that particular time may have been to make the people live together and how they can live in harmony, because our country is having so much of diversity. So how the people can live together and how education can play the role. So that, for that particular reason, they wanted that education should reach each corner of the country and every society of the country. And they tried to make, at that particular time also in 1968, they tried to make the education compulsory for, that was the target, may not be achieved, but that was the target, that was the thought process at that particular time, that all the children aged between 6 to 14 years, they should be given compulsory education. So that was way back in 1968. Then you can see that 1986, how the things have changed. They say that group wise, section wise societies, where the different groups which say that there are certain section of the society who could not grow with the other sections of the society, and they were, it was felt that they are lagging behind in education and even the economical terms. So they put stress that the education should be imparted to these disadvantages categories, which have been termed as scheduled caste, scheduled types, other backward classes, women. So these were the categories they were thought of to be the class whereby the benefits of education was not reaching. So they stress that all these parts of the society should be covered under education. That was in 1986. And then there were they thought of giving up to so many fellowships and the financial assistance to the people so that they can go ahead with their education. Then it was also included that even the teachers, they will be from these category of people who have been left behind in the race of to the progress. So these are the trends of 1968 and 1986 education policy. Now you can see that the third column, it suggests that what was listed in National Education Policy of 1992. Here you will see there is a shift in 1992. This education policy talks about the enhancement, quality enhancement. So emphasizes the need of greater transformation of Indian educational system with focus on quality enhancement. In last two education policies, you will see that 1968, 1986, people were looking for the inclusiveness of the society, that larger portion of the society should be benefited from the education. But in 1992, they realized that yes, there is one more important aspect which have been not covered properly, not thought of, or they see that there will be some issues with the quality of education. So they tried to put word quality enhancement. So it also stresses on bringing up moral values. Maybe the thought was leaders at that particular time thought that there are some degradation in the moral values in general in society. So they thought that this should be the part of the education system as such, so that they can improve the condition of the society. So now, before I go to the education policy of 2019, I wish that all the participants should list what are their expectation that these things should be must in the education policy, so that the India should progress, or it should be the country of your dreams. So what that one point is that you will like to have in the education policy. I will like to give 2-3 minutes to the participants to write one particular point, and then I will compile that point and list. We will see whether your expectations are fulfilled in this particular education policy or not, what are remaining in that, so that you can find out, you can see point by point what has been covered in this particular education policy and what has not been covered. Although this presentation does not cover entire 300-page report, but this presentation does have the salient points of the policy. So can I request all the participants to write in the chat itself, so that my colleagues can compile that, or I may also compile that, what is your expectation from the education policy? Dr. Manna,
Yes,
is that fine?
Yeah,
Is that fine?
coming, sir.
Everybody can.
Yes. So I will take it up. If you allow, I will take up along with you. So it's already starting. The very first is coming, mandatory use of ICT. So that is the first point. If you can make a note, or if you allow me to, I can type on a word and I can share my screen. Otherwise, you can type right in your pad.
Dr. Mamta says use of ICT.
Yes. So
Okay.
Swati Das said use of ICT.
Interactive mode of education.
Rupesh Gautam said it should be actually, yeah, I have to go fastly. Include digital technology system.
Somebody says OB. I was seeing that change assessment process. I think it is moving too fast for me to read.
Yeah, it's
actually
moving. That's what I'm helping, sir. That's why I'm helping. Better you write, I will read, because it's moving so fast. I have to be very cautious because everybody's typing, so it runs very fast. Yeah.
Mr. Wilson says it should be oriented towards job creation.
Yeah. Outcome-based evaluation.
Pratibhu Roy hai.
Yeah.
Pratibhu Roy is job creation, outcome-based,
Yes.
outcome-based. OB.
Yeah. Dr. Sarabjit Kaushal says curriculum
Education,
design.
moral and skill.
Yes.
Our policy is overcome or violated by the followers: skill development, outcome-based education, uniform or common education system, modules for mentoring the students. Okay.
Yeah.
Mentoring the students.
Yeah.
So everybody, whosoever is writing on the chat box, please note down what you have written, so that on the way we can see whether your expectations have been covered with the present policy or no.
Absolutely.
So
industry demand based.
Industry demand based, technology in education. I think that is the same as ICT.
Inclusive education and evaluation process.
Application based education. Dr. Parik is saying application based.
Yeah. Dr. Ashima, practical performance of students should rise with theory.
Practical oriented.
Yeah, practical performance of students should rise with industry, with theory. Sorry, Dr. Ashima.
Dr. Sharma says development of competency to live with definite human conduct. Okay, human values and all those things he wanted to incorporate. Human values.
Gurvinder Kaur says education for underprivileged of our nation.
Inclusiveness. Yes.
To be considered weakness. Yes, inclusiveness. Same.
Okay.
Skilled people who can create jobs. Skilled people. It's too fast.
I think that is very, very interesting. That is written in Dr. Ganguly. She says, power to change with changing times, his ability to evolve. Yeah.
Yes.
He says the people should get power to change with the changing time.
Absolutely.
So that is the one aspect of education also.
More of innovation and practicability based educational platform. Good. Very good. Dr. Stella Joyce says, yeah, Navalpreet Kaur, research should be application based rather than just publishing papers and degree. I do agree. Yes, research should be. There should be the
application-based research.
Yeah, it should be the application based rather than publishing papers, etc. Amandeep Bhandari says skill based subjects must be part of curriculum. Yes, that's what it is already. That's good. It's very much matching with our demand, you know, with our, because I've gone through with the policy, so I can understand.
You don't disclose a
No, I'm not going to pick out the papers. Yeah, Bikramjit Singh, how to restrict brain drain in our country? Yes, yes. All the ITNs are going outside. I think already Trump already stopped, sir. No problem. Dr. Mamta
hands-on
Chha,
training.
innovation based. Yeah,
Dr.
it's there.
Das says hands-on training.
Yeah, hands-on training needed. We are looking ITIs back. We must.
Dr. Parikh is saying we think in our mother tongue, but we get education in different languages. Maximum time goes in translating only, so innovation is not coming on the surface. They should be considered as possible. So they are asking for the many languages. They should we should be well versed in our mother tongue and national language, as well as some communication point of view.
Yes.
3 language formula, I think we are talking
3 language formula. Paper is already out, sir. 3 language formula. Yes, yeah.
Free education to all.
Yeah, free education to all. Hindustan
you
में
want
free भी से कम
more
मिलेगा ये नहीं
public
समझ आ रहा.
projects based learning. Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Very interactive.
Okay.
Very.
Reformation of curriculum and real-time research. Okay, okay. Real-time research.
Strictly uniform syllabi or curriculum for the whole India. Oh, uniform curriculum framework.
Model curriculum is already there, I think.
Yes, by UGC or AICTE, model curriculum already have been developed. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Minimize the gap between industry and academia. Okay, that is a strong point. Minimize gap.
Yeah, very interesting. Health education and Ayurveda as the subjects for better mind and learning for future. Yes, of course. Why not yoga even? That's good for Jodhpur.
Health education. Now, I will give one, Dr. Manna, I will give one point to the listeners that they are generally talking about the education. They are thinking about the technical education. I say that they should also think it, because education policy is from day one. That means even the toddlers, for the toddlers, what they think about from the beginning to end. We are not, because education policy is not only for technical education, but it is for all. So listeners, please, if you want to add something based on what you think about your children who are just entering into the education system, what should be the changes? I think that aspect is not being covered by the listeners right now. So if the participants think on that direction also, how your toddlers will be going into the school and something changes, what problems you face, in that case, can you give some suggestion on that also?
Absolutely, because NEP is divided in 4 parts: school education, higher education, technical education, and training. So that is our virtual training education.
If the listeners have any suggestions to make on the primary education, pre-primary education, secondary education, that can also be listed.
Absolutely. Learn the students
says,
to love the learning.
Says interdisciplinary subjects.
Yes, interdisciplinary subjects is always in demand. So life skills and healthy lifestyles, training to toddlers and primary kids. Yes, life skills. Absolutely. Students should train to how to think. That is the main education, you know, the mandate of education. Yeah. Psychology can be included in engineering education because of AI innovations. Or
that
AI
is
involved.
That is okay. Interdisciplinary subjects are, that is fine enough.
Yeah, we already have added up many through SWAM and open electives.
We stop over here because we have given 5-7 minutes to this particular, and we have got very good ideas from the listeners. That means your audience is active and live. So I will now move on to what is the policy is and what it states. Only the it is not elaborative, but it is the highlights of the policy only, because in 1 hour's time it will be very difficult to cover all aspects of the 300-page report. But yes, we will be highlighting, and then at the end of session we will take your comments whether your expectations are met by this policy or something is lacking, seriously lacking in this particular policy. I think that will so that now you have the idea that this is your idea and you should map what has been proposed. So that will give you a good view of the policy. Now you will be able to appreciate or criticize it, whatever you want to. So that will be the way. So I continue with my presentation. Next slide.
You have to, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Manna, for helping me out. Then the next slide starts with the National Education Policy 2019. In between, we have left about the RTE. Mostly people now know that right to education was passed in 2009, and it was made earlier. It was from 6 to I think 16 years. Now it is from 5 to 18 years education compulsory through the right to education. And you must have seen that a lot many schools have come up after this national RTE also. So now I will move on to the National Education Policy of 2019. What it says, what are the highlights of this particular policy? It has been prepared by a committee which was chaired by Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan. You know, the renowned scientist, Dr. Kasturi Rangan was the chairman of this particular society, committee, who formulated this national education draft of this political policy. So they have what the terms. Now you can note down the terms which the policy is based on. There are 5 terms, and now you see whether these terms match with your idea or not. They say the foundation pillars of this particular policy is access. Access means everybody should be able to get education. Equity का मतलब है कि सभी के पास होने चाहिए. Quality of the education has been talked about, and then they talk about the affordability of the education, and then the accountability of the whole process of educating the people. Accountability of the process, and the education itself become affordable, and they want to give a quality education to the nation, and then it should be accessible to all with equitable distribution. So these are the pillars of this education policy of 2019. So you can match up whether what points you have written, some of them has covered or not. Now, what are the key features of that policy? Policy, as Dr. Manna has said in between, that this policy is for all. Policy is for school education. It is for the higher education. It is for the technical education. It is for the adult education also. So all sorts of open education also. So this particular policy document covers all aspects: childhood education, primary education, secondary education, higher education, technical education, or even the adult education as such. So this policy talks about every aspect of the education system. So key features of this policy is it seeks to increase the focus on early childhood care. Earlier they thought that education starts from the 3 years. After the 3 years or 3.5 years, you get admission to a school, and then only the education starts. But this education system says the education starts from the day of birth. So early childhood care is also included in this policy document. So that is a very big change in the policy document, that early childhood care is also included in the education policy. So it also talks about the reforms in the examination system. What are exactly the reforms they suggest? They suggest that mugging should not be there. That is the word they are using, that it should not be based on the what you can remember, but it should be what you know, what you can develop, what are your thought process. That should be captured by a examination system. Presently, they say the examination system is capturing only what you can remember. So then it also talked about the key feature of this particular education policy is training the teachers. That they say that the teacher training is not up to the level, up to the desired levels. So all the teachers, even we see in the technical education, when the teacher comes to join a teaching profession, he is not trained to teach actually. So they want that even there should be a teachers training that should be strengthened. And then they want to restructure the education regulatory framework. You see now there are so many regulatory bodies all over, or UGC, AICT, or you can say that other professional education is governed by several councils, and architecture council is there, medical council is there. So several regulatory bodies are there, but they want to restructure the education regulatory framework. These are the some key points of this. And the national, so they want to set up a national education commission. So the education regulatory framework, through this they want to set up a national education commission and increase the public investment in the education. Somebody said free education. It does not talk about the free education, but it does talk about the increase of public investment in the education system. Few people in the beginning said it should be ICT based. So it says strengthen the use of technology and increase focus on vocational and education among others. So you can see the focus is on vocational training. Those people who are left in the race, they could not get the formal education, they can be given a vocational training so that they can learn skills of life. So that is the highlight of this education policy. It also talks about the adult education or youth education combined, how they can be, those people are not educated, how they can be educated. This policy also talked about what is the research scenario in India, and then how to develop research culture among the students. So this is the few points which have been highlighted in this policy. I will read out certain points, but first the highlights and then the pointsly exactly how they are mentioned in the policy. Still, I am continuing with the key observations. Now they say the school education will be the two-part education. One is they are issuing the guidelines for the people, children up to 3 years for the parents and teachers. This was not earlier included in any of the education policy. Up to 3-year children, how you should take care of the children when he is in formative age, and then the educational framework as such after 3 to 8 years. This is the school education system they are talking about. This is the key change that they are also talking about the toddlers. Those who are not actually going to a formal education system, but how they should be taken care of in the formative age. So they say that in this school education, they have said that all children age between 3 to 18 years now, they should be covered. And restructuring the board examination to, somebody said on the way that our examination system should change. So in this policy, they say the board examination should test the core concept, skills, and higher order capacities, not the remembering capacity only. So these are the words or the key points about the school education. And then key points about the higher education is they are setting up a national higher education regulatory authority. They have talked about the education regulatory authority, where there are several now bodies are there, whether they can be combined together or they can come together, and bring up a common framework for all. Somewhere where in our institutions, somewhere we say AICT regulations, somewhere we say UGC regulations, and you said the medical council, they are guided by the MCI, and similar is the architecture council. There are law institutions which are again different framework they are following. So can we see these things coming up under one umbrella? That is but the direction is that they want to bring one national higher education regulatory authority. Now they want to put the institution, we say, in different categories. What are those categories? Are these three type of institution they want to say. One is the research university focusing equally on research and teaching. That is the first type, where the focus on research and education is equal. Then second type of universities where primarily teaching, but yes, it will be having the component of research also. But third component, it says only teaching of undergraduate school, colleges, and then universities which are towards bending towards the teaching, but little bit of research. And then there are universities which have teaching and research with the equal weightage. So they want to classify. Now we have NRF ranking and many things where all the institutions who have different mandates, they try to compete in one category only. If we say university, all type of university, there are certain university who are not who have not strengthened their research, but they have to participate. But the parameters is on the research side also, teaching side also. So we have to see how to categorize our institutions so that they can excel in one of the fields. Actually, there can be certain institutions which are not doing excellent research, but they are training the student in an excellent way. So they want to have a focused area for each institution defined. What is their focus area? That has to be defined, and you have to declare in which category the institution, your institution comes. So I think that is a very, very good change in the thought process or the education policy. So this education also, this this policy also talked that highest level is interested in governing the education system of the country. National Education Commission or Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog has to be headed by Prime Minister. It has been proposed. So let us see how the things will. And then you can have use of technology in education. Few people in the beginning of when we asked the people what are your ideas, so they said that more technology should be used in education. So they have highlighted that technology in education. A National Education Technology Forum will be set up under the mission as an autonomous body to facilitate decision making on induction, deployment, and use of technology. So specific, they are talking about the National Education Technology Forum, which will guide how that technology can be used for imparting the education system. I think Dr. Manna is part of one of those initiatives taken by previously also, where the SWAYAM portal has been created by using the technology. But now they want to have a focused attention on how the technology can be used in the education. They also propose to build a national repository to maintain all the records of institution, teacher, and students. Right now also AICT has done, they are taking a lot of records for the students and teacher. But I think they want to make it not only for technical education, they want to make a repository where all the students and teachers and institutions information is gathered and available at one platform. So now few of you can read this. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I don't know how many people you can write your comments whether you agree with this particular point or you have different points. You can think of it. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. ये नेल्सन मंडेला ने कहा है, पर आप अगर मैकॉले के, मैं तो तभी को याद करता हूँ कि जब मैकॉले ने कहा था कि इंडिया को कैसे हमने कंट्रोल करना है, तो उन्होंने एजुकेशन की बात की थी. आई थिंक इट इज ए वेरी वेरी पावरफुल टूल, बट लेट अस सी व्हाट the audience says, what is their thought process. You can write in the chat whether you agree with this particular point or you have something different to say. You can use chat box and write it. I will request, I will not stop here, but I will request Dr. Manna to see what is written in the chat box, and then we will discuss in the end.
Yes, sir. It's coming. Agree.
So we can
And-
discuss. You can see that what people are thinking. If there is some difference of opinion, we should also see what people are thinking of this particular statement. It is made by one of the greats, but still we can have a different thought process also. We are
Yes,
not
absolutely.
stereotyping people. So I continue
But
with
till
my
now,
presentation.
only agree word is coming till now. So if any second opinion will come, definitely I will let you know.
Okay, that's fine. Now these are the
Participants, your mic mutes. Participants, please keep your mics mute. Yeah, please, sir. Please continue.
now this was the segment in which I have put up the only the key points. Now I will go a little bit of detail. The next few slides will carry through what are the details of this new education policy. So now the early childhood, first is the part of school education, early child care and education. Now they are talking about, I have talked in the highlights also, that they are talking about not only the education but childhood care also. They are putting it under the category of education. That is a I think, in my opinion, that is a big change. So they say that two parts. One is consisting of guidelines for up to 3 years, which we have already discussed, and then up to 8 years. This is the, and they want to include the Anganwadis and all those things into the, integrate into the system of education. So we have already discussed that RT from 3 years to 18 years age students are to be included in the education system. That is repeat. But structure, you can see they are proposing certain change in structure at the school education level. They say that it is 5-3-3-4. 5 years of foundation stage. 5 years of foundation stage means earlier nursery, pre-nursery, and KG, and up to first and second, 5 years. So these, now they are saying 3 years of pre-primary. It was available in some of the cases, but not all. Somebody did from class 1, somebody did it from nursery and KG, first, second, that is the 4 year. Somebody did it 3-year system. So now they are want to make it 5-year system, in which there will be 3 years of pre-primary school and then class 1 and class 2, 5 years of education. This is after 3. And then 3 years of preparatory stage. This is from class 3 to 5. Next stage is class 3 to 5. And then 3 years of middle stage, that is class 6 to class 8. And then the secondary education system, which is from 9 to 12. So these are the division which says 5-3-3-4. So 5 years for the foundation, and 3 for preparatory, 3 for middle, and 4 for the secondary education system. So core competencies issue we have already discussed, and I will move on to the next slide. What this says, it is also talks about the school infrastructure policy recommend that multiple public schools should be brought together to form a school complex. They are saying that there are many schools which work in isolation. Can we put up schools in isolations where you have a complex and you can have multiple schools coming up, and all public school in the neighborhood that offer pre-primary education till class 8th. So these are the combining of different school into one cluster. I think if few people of you know that in Japan, the parent cannot move out of a particular boundary to admit their ward. Means if you are going for the primary education, then you have to admit your student within some of the school within that particular area of limited boundary. You cannot admit your young ward to a institute which is located at 10 kilometer, 12 kilometer or 15 kilometer away from your house. So and this is also close to my thought process also, that if a student of 3 years of age or 4 years of age has to move to large distances and wasting their time in the traffic for 2 hours, 3 hours, that is a lot of wastage of his time of learning, and putting a lot of stress on those students who are not their bodies are not in that particular stage. So probably that thought process is there. They want to cluster the institutions, and let us see. But that is the proposal. And then they say the teachers should be deployed with a particular school complex for at least 5 to 7 years. And then there is a different policies with the state. They transfer the teachers within 3 years, 5 years, or some 2 years. But they say the complex, you can move from one institute to other, but still in the same complex, and the teacher can be put for a larger duration of time, so that it can be good for the teachers also, it can be good for the students also. Then regulatory structure and accreditation. Now lot many people know about the accreditation process already in there. So they are trying to propose a national higher education regulatory body. Just already I have talked about this, but accreditation is also there for the institution. Now all professional bodies, which are the Bar Council of India, which takes care of law education, AICT for technical education, they have to set up the standards and then see whether those standards are being followed in the institutions or not. Till date, I don't think that accreditation process, other than the AICT has well structured accreditation process, but I don't know about other institutions how the accreditation process goes. This education policy talks about the accreditation of all types of institutions as such. So that is a big change. Otherwise, next point is categorizing the higher educational institution in the research universities, teaching universities that have been talked. And if that is done in practice, I think that will be a great service to the education system, whereby we are able to define what is the focus of an institution. I think the listeners or my audience can also give this particular point a thought and give their comments whether they agree with this, that they should be, institutions should be categorized as teaching institutions only, or they are towards more on teaching, less on research, and then equally putting up stress on teaching and research. So you can think of and give your comments on that aspect also. But in my personal opinion, I don't want to bias you, but as my thought process goes, I appreciate this particular point. So this is one point which I want to stress is moving towards the liberal approach. Somebody says that it should be, the education system should be flexible. You should be able to move from one place to another place. We are right now, we are binded into a very you say the rigid boundaries, that this is the science students, this is the say arts students, this is the commerce student. I think putting up a student into the boundaries of these categorization is not that good, because even I think even the stage of 12th, the student does not know what is his future direction and in what are his qualities and where he should land up actually. So this interdisciplinary approach allows you to take whenever you want to change your track, you should be able to change your track. That should be the area of concern for all the, I think that should be the thought process, that our students should not be, because in my times and most of your times, people said either you can become a doctor or you can become an engineer. There was no other thoughts coming up. But right now, this particular education policy talks about the interdisciplinary, where you can have a common core curriculum, and then your areas of specialization, minor and major specialization. That gives a lot of flexibility to the students, and it is a part of the liberal approach towards the education, that any time a student or whatever he want to learn, he should be able to learn. Like in system is becoming oops also, that open resources are available whereby you can learn anything. So institution has to come up to that particular level to accept that their students can also learn few things extra. Like somebody said, you want to learn extra yoga, you should be able to do it. Somebody photography, yes, you should be able to do it. Somebody want to learn physiotherapy on the way of engineering also, so you should be able to do certain exercises which is beyond the boundaries of a normal engineering college also, or normal college also, in which a particular stream is being given. So we should give a wider spectrum to the students, so they can think of at any stage of their life to change the track. So they should be able to change that and adopt to a new situation, adapt to their likings, and progress well. We should not, once you have decided that yes, I am going to in this particular side, then I cannot change. That is a very, very bad situation from anybody. So I hope that liberal approach actually comes to the ground, and the students are able to take up these things in reality. Although there are many institute, they say that we have a liberal system, choice-based system, but actually choices are not made available to the students. Open education system, online courses, they are giving a choice to the students. That is a good thing. But as the institutions also, we have to think whether we are giving them the choices or not. Even availability of open choices are there, but still we are not allowing the student to choose them. So in that sense, this particular policy talks about the liberal way of giving the education, and allow the students to choose their way whenever they want to. One thing which this particular policy also talks about, the professional development of the teachers. That is also important, but the teacher may not like to have a track system in which faculty is given certain tenure to work, tenure type. We people in India don't like a tenure type of situation, but this policy has to give a tenure type of system where you are given a assignment for 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years, not for the lifetime. Like we have to retire at 65 or 60, not like that. So that is a proposal, but I don't know how it is going to be implemented. They said about student-teacher ratio, not more than 30:1 must be ensured. Although in technical education, it is requirement is much more. We talk about 30 or 20 students to 1, but they are talking about in general education, the ratio has to be maintained at 30:1. If we are able to maintain this particular ratio in overall country, that there will be a lot of requirement of the faculty all around. So if they are talking about the 30:1 student teacher ratio, that will be very, very great thing to happen, but I don't think it is right now. So they say that optimal learning environment should be provided by giving the autonomy to the institutions. Somebody said that there should be a common syllabus for all, but contrary to that, this particular education policy talks about a lot of autonomy to the institutions, at different level. They are talking about the making of the cluster of the institutions, and then giving them the cluster the autonomy to choose their curriculum, pedagogy, or find out the resources in different matters. So I don't know. Somebody said that the curriculum for all should be same, but I don't think that you can bind education in such rigid boundaries. You have to always give an autonomy. Again, you can have a difference of opinion with me. I have no point on that. So we have talked about that this particular policy is also given certain issues about the education governance, which we have already covered, and even it talks about changing the name of HRD ministry to the education ministry. So I don't know. You can have your opinion on that. The financing of education, somebody said free education, and now it says this will be surprising to note that presently only 10% public expenditure goes, means if there are 100 rupees are being spent on the education system, only 10% comes from the public expenditure, that is the government. And government has pledged to increase this 10% funding to 20%. If indeed this happens, 20% funding to the education system, that can make great changes to Indian education scenario. I think we should appreciate that government has, the education policy has listed this item to increase the public funding in the education system. If really happens, that will be the great. So they have given how the 20% will be increased, where the additional 10% will go. The 5% they say for higher education, and 2% for additional teachers and resources in the school education, and then 1.4 for the early childhood care and education. That is the new addition to it. So they want to put additional money into that particular aspects also. So it also talks about that how the money can be utilized effectively for the education purposes. So we have talked about the education, technology education, that was comments from the many of the user. And then they have talked about the vocational courses. Vocational courses are, I think, very, very important. And now they say that not only the left out people, but all the students who pass out 9 to 12, they should have a vocational course. Means they are asking that everybody should have one life skill. That is also a very good step to think. If that is implemented, again, that will be the great thing. That other than knowing the things, you should know how to do the things. Vocational training, skill training is making people aware how to do the things by hands. So if people are having those skills, that will be commendable, and they could have survival. They could have survival in very, very tough time also, if you have some certain skills. This policy also talks about the adult education. So in past also there have been several schemes where the adult education was provided. So this particular education policy also talks about the adult education, and it wants to create adult education centers, even in the working schools itself. The infrastructure of the schools which are existing can be utilized for the open school or the evening schools for the adults or the youth who could not participate in their earlier times in the education system. Yes, that is part of the inclusiveness. Those who are left out, they have to be included in the education system. So somebody talks about we think in our mother tongue and then translate it to the other language. Same is the condition with me, and I think with most of the people. So this education policy also talked about that media of instruction must be either in home language, mother tongue, local language till grade 5, and preferably till grade 8 wherever possible. So they are also talking about a national language and a language of communication. So 3 language policy they want to adopt, and yes, it should be there. language should be there to unite the people, not to divide the people in any of sense. So they want to that people in the north should learn the languages of south, or people in the south should also learn the languages of north. And if that happens, if we accept that particular scenario, that will be very, very good for the integration of the country. So they talked about our Indian heritage also, where we can do. So this is not the entire education policy, but few points which I could make up in which we can be discussed in 1 hour time. So I have put on slate and discuss with you. And earlier I asked you what are your idea. Now you can see, discuss the point if your this particular policy covers your expectations or it is lacking. And if it is lacking, in what sense it is lacking, you can write in the chat box and we can discuss right now. And I asked Manna ji or Sachin is there. These people can help me out in this thing. We see that what are the responses from the people around.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You have very well elaborated in a in time frame that what education policy says from the school education to the higher education to the technical education. And I already I believe the government is already in this direction. This year, AICT already have given a freedom to the all AICT approved institutions to take interdisciplinary courses there. Like in an engineering college, we can start BSc, we can start BA, we can start BCom, as many of us must be knowing about this. Similarly, I think tomorrow UGC may also get to open the gates for the technical courses or professional courses. Of course, sir, I do differ with the 1 or 2 points. I think it's my personal opinion, because we talk about the affiliation, then we talk about the autonomy. These two things cannot go simultaneously. So the thing is that when you are asking the primary school principals, 3 primary school principals to become under the one secondary school principal, again it's a problem. It's a clash of ego, it's a clash of budgeting, it's a clash of the the mindset as such. So that should not be there, that under one cluster we are going to put the small primary schools, because every school,
we are talking about the clustering. Yeah.
Yes, clustering. So in that, I have a different point. I don't go in line with the, although it's already made by the good intellectuals and they must have a thought process for this, which I could not be.
Everybody is intellectual in his own way or in his own right. So they can have all the people who are listening to this, they are also having their views, and they have rightfully exercise their choices. So we can see that people are writing that expectations are met, but they are skeptical about how it will be implemented, implementation there or not there. That is also good.
That is the big question, sir.
Most of the time, we are in the also line whether things will be implemented or not. If it is implemented, then yes, fine. And few good things.
Absolutely. Because policy should not be on the table or should not be on the in the Elmira. It should be on the road. It should be on the grassroots level to be get implemented. I think present so many policies from last 5 to 6 years, as per you must be agree with me. It came to the very fast pace to the local people, to the common people, whether it's a financial policy, whether it's a policy regarding the education, whether it's a policy regarding like GST or other kind of parameters has been taken, particularly Digital India pattern. You know how fastly we reach to the Rupee, Beam, etc., M Parivahan, NDL. We have the National Digital Library, and of course NAD, that is Academic Depository, etc. The great pillars. Anyhow, sir, so because we have committed to the participants to be compiling the timing very short, because teachers doesn't have that kind of capacity to sit for a whole day and watch on a screen, but we have put them this tough job, and it was the first day. It was a very interesting, and we are really grateful to you, sir.
I'm saying comments are very, very good. They are writing. That means they were listening to it, and they have given their comments. And right, all expectations may not be met. People are writing that some of the expectations have been met. So that is good.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, sir.
So
it's
because the chat box will be, I think, available to you. You can compile this, and we can put up this also.
Definitely. We are going to collect all the comments, valuable comments from the participants, and we are going to be taken to the further brainstorming session, because sir, it's a beginning. If this FDP is beginning, we have to go in a long way, because this group has to be go long way. We have to create digital leaders. We have to create academic leaders of this country. That's why, sir, we have approached all the states of this country while selecting the participants. I was very much minutely micro level watching. I should not be skip any state which has not been taken in consideration. And I have taken a 0-year experience to 25 years experience person as a participant. President Dean is also the participant, and the young aspiring mind like assistant professor is also participant in this team, because I don't want to keep a one leap only that only the youngers are there or only my all seniors are there. So I have tried my best to be, and tomorrow many more are going to be joined, because those could not join today. They are going out of the league, and we are going to be add up 100 more because the waiting list is big. But some were not sincere or serious, although they could see it's a free, they applied, but they could not come up today. So maybe they are having some unavoidable circumstances. So I do appreciate them also. Sir, it is just a brief token of love and appreciation from the organizers and from the participant sides. Please receive this certificate, sir, which is going to be reached to your office also very soon through email box. So now I request my colleague from NIT Uttarakhand to please put a vote of thanks for Professor A.S. Arora, who spent his sufficient time with us, and he given a very, very elaborative talk about the national education policy. And nobody have to read now 300 pages, because the crux, the actual theme of that you have described in a 1-hour session, and it was a very good session. Thank you, sir. So I request my colleague from NIT Uttarakhand, if he's, yeah, please.
Okay, good evening to all the participants. Thank you, Professor Arora sir, which have given such a nice talk on the new education policy of India. So I hope this policy will be in some coming year, that will be also available to all of us. So that will be there. So I want to thank you, Professor Arora sir, for giving such a nice talk to us. So thank you all the participants.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Your nice
Thank you.
participation, all the participants. Thank you very much. You have been very live audience to me, and you make my day because I can sense that comments are there. Lot many comments are there, and so people are participating in the thing, and we are giving some certain thoughts to it. That is great.
Yeah. So
Great
we are
having
going to have one group photograph, sir. We request you to be stay with us for next 30 seconds, and all the participants are going to switch on their camera. The very first day, second session completed successfully. So those are really happy. Show your faces. The sweet faces. We have to just switch on the camera, not the mic, please. So please switch on the cameras. Yes, very nice, very nice. Looking all energetic faces, the great teachers of my country, all over the pan India. Somebody's from Punjab, somebody's from Kerala, somebody's from Tamil Nadu, somebody's from Assam, Manipur. Great. All the great teachers are there. Even my 2-3 participants from Bangladesh, also Oman, if they are available today, I know, I don't know whether could join because of some internet connectivity sometimes can be the issue. What about others? Are they sleeping? Are they just put a switch on to the laptop to attendance and went outside the kitchen?
Internet is slow.
Internet is slow. Okay, okay. I can understand. I can. So I'll wait.
I'm trying to.
Sirji, sometime allow us also to talk, sir, because listening for the whole day sometimes is a little challenging. We are back to school.
I'll assure you, when I will give you chance, then you will not speak, because everybody has to create a MOOCs. Just wait for my session. I will not allow
I
you
know,
to be
sir. I know. Just a small little humor since the morning, sir.
Yes.
There is a webcam limit reached. It says webcam limit reached. We are not able to.
Actually, like this, many will
limit reach.
start speaking, so nobody can listen. That's what the problem. Otherwise, I could have to allow. We cannot make an online discipline. In the class, we can say, okay, you and you, but here I have to speak by name or something like that. But that's why I took introduction to all the participants. I think today 100 participants gave their introduction personally, coming on the mic and speaker today morning, which is recorded also, which are going to be shared with you with the. So after this group photograph, I will take you for a small journey. I could understand some of you could not join your Google Classroom. I will teach. Within 3 minutes, I will give you a demo here only, online. Be here with me so you can join. Only thing is you must have a Google Gmail account with you. If you have a Gmail account with you, you can join. Because all my material, PPTs, other things I am going to share with the Google Classroom. You are going to be a permanent
we can have a session Google Classroom on some day, and half an hour can be given. We are working on this in the institute also, what process we have taken up. So if you give a certain times, we can include the institute faculty also along with these participants and give a half an hour presentation on that particular thing, because
Sure,
people have worked
sure.
hard on that, and I think that will be useful to all. What we are trying to do in our institutes, we can share also.
Thank you,
If
sir. We will
that
do.
is,
We do.
if that is acceptable, that we can do in Monday somewhere, I can tell my
We'll do,
team.
sir. It can be in any of the session, or I can take exclusive 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 20-minute sessions, or maybe in my session itself. Although my session is designed for MOOCs purpose, I don't want to change the curriculum of my session because many participants are looking for that. Because, sir, I just delight to share with you. There is one assignment, sir. All the participants have to create their 3 minutes video as they have to send to SWAM platform. So that they are going to be create after my session. After attending my session, how to create a MOOCs, they will be able to record their 3 minutes video. They will be putting on the Google Classroom as an assignment. I will evaluating all the participants the 3 minutes video, and I will tell where is the deficiency if it is so, and how they can improve themselves. Because, sir, otherwise this is not going to be a fruitful. Just giving a certificate or giving a lectures will not help unless it is going to be outcome based. So that is my thoughts, sir. Many may be different with me, but I have to make this FDP very much outcome based FDP. So, dear participants, some other tips I have to give it. Some participants joined second session and they received the email on 24th. That is today. Yes, you were there in the waiting list. We invited 227 participants morning session, but somehow 107 participants joined at the morning session. Rest they don't join, we debarred them. They are suspended. They are not eligible to get the certificate, although they were joined now also. Even they join also. Only those out of 227, not others. Rest 800 participants waiting list we used. We called 100 more, but still we got 107. Now today night again we are sending a mail to the 500 participants. Those will be with us, and we are keeping track. We are keeping track. Very first phase, second phase, third phase. First phase participant not attended a first session, not eligible for certificate. Second phase participants not attended this second session and coming tomorrow morning, because link is with you. All the links we are sharing. Okay, you take a content. Content is always free for the MOOCs, but don't ask for the certification. We are not going to give certification. This certificate is going to only the sincere participants, because tomorrow you can say you are a new teacher for new tomorrow. You are a digital teacher, because all this content you must appreciate today how AI, how national education policy discussion, and we are going to be bring all such a good speakers for you, and you are joining late or you are not joining, and you think that बीच में जाके attendance लगा के आ जाएंगे. मेरी FTP में नहीं होगा. It is not for attendance. You want to make attendance, you make 100 times. I want to be learn. Those will give me 3 minutes video, they will get the certificate. Those will give me the quiz assignment qualified in the last day, they will get the certificate. If you are only for certificate, and I'm sure many of you will say, sir, keep it certificate with you, we just want learning also. Yes, I know that, because many teachers must be agree with that. So now those already have joined the Google class. I'll just quickly go to the Google Classroom, because I have to tell you it's a very easy, but somehow if somebody is finding difficulty, so before you leave me today, I have to just share. Okay, you just look at the screen. I'll wait the screen to be appear for you. Okay, it is my account. I'm in my email. This is my account. You look at to the right side corner with 9 bullets. 9 bullets at the right corner. You can just see I'm going to click it. When I'm going to click it, I know it is appearing late on the screen, so I will wait till you are going to watch on a screen. I'll go very easily. Just see here, all the Google apps, all the Google ads on is going to be opened over here. I'll go just as you are a layman. Many of you must be trained. Watching here in this whole basket, I'll find one icon written Google Classroom, green color board, Classroom. I will click this. New window will open. New window will open. Please make sure you must have a Google Gmail account. Otherwise, you can't go. Gmail account. Okay. I'm going inside the classroom. Since you are a student, you have to join my class. Look at to my screen. You will find right corner plus sign. right corner, other than the 9 dots, there is a plus corner in your email. Yes, every email once you open, you click this plus button, you will find a message, join class, create class. Since you are a student, you have to join the class. If you could have to create a class for your students, you have to create a class as I created. You can see this class I have created for you, FDP faculty for new. Now I'll give you my code. This is the code appearing to you. It is the same code which I given to the chat box. Again, I'm given over here. You can make note of this. I'll just make it a bigger for you to appear. I'll just make it, because you will be able to read the code, because it's giving so many. When we first time come to the classroom, they give so many tips. They think we are just yes. You can read this code very easy. Even you can make it note of this on notepad, or you can click a photograph through your mobile this slide. It is a W small 7 E small, E for elephant, G small, S small, E small, or J small. What you have to do? Here you click join class. Once you will click the button, I'll go back. I will take back to you. I take back to you. I hope you have clicked the photograph. You are with me. I will close this because I have to go back. I will show you what I want you to do. I'll go back from this class also, because I want you to understand how to join. Yes, when you will press this plus button, you will say join class. We'll click a join class. You see what is going to become. I'll just show you. This is what you are looking. Ask your teacher for a class code, then enter here. So your teacher already given a code to you. Yes, of course, today I am your teacher. I have given. Just fill that code, cut and paste, or maybe type, enter, you will be in my class. And I'll tell you how many students already joined with the same code, because somebody is writing code is invalid. If code is invalid, how come these students already using the same code have been joined? You look at their name, I will just drag. So Kwan Singh is already there in my class, Abhimanyu Mandal is there, Parvita Kar is there, Naresh is there, Sarabjit is there, Naval Preet is there. Please make
Sir,
sure.
it's Prativa Kar. It's Prativa Kar.
So, oh, sorry.
Sir, it's Prativa Kar.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I may pronounce sometimes with the wrong pronunciation. So
No problem,
please,
sir. No problem. Thank you, sir.
So I take permanent excuse for 5 days, because daily I can't say sorry. मैं फिर भी गलती बोलूँगा, because I know I'm matric pass. You know, so you have to excuse me. Yeah. So like
Thank
this,
you, sir. No problem.
And Sarabjit Kaushal, Naval Preet, please use the same email ID which you got registered, and make sure it's a Gmail ID, and please use your name properly. Otherwise, you will not get the mark sheets. Otherwise, you will not get the grades, because grades are going to be registered on a Google Classroom. The whole Google Classroom sheet will be there. Digital footprints
Excuse me, sir.
never
Can I
be.
interrupt?
Yeah, please.
Excuse me, sir. Can I interrupt?
Yeah, please.
Sir, this is Prativa. Sir, actually, we have the institutional email ID, GIT-EDU. I have entered that one, but for that we don't get G Suite. So I have Gmail ID. In the Gmail ID, I have entered, sir, to your classroom. Yes. The same Prativa Kar, my name is there in both the case. But for
okay. Now everyone. Nobody has to speak. I understood your query. FAQs. Frequent asked question. Question number 1. Many of you have joined us FDP with your maybe institutional ID, maybe Yahoo, maybe Reddit. No problem. Don't worry. Nothing to be worried. You create a Gmail ID today, or if you already have, make sure that Gmail ID title name should be yours, because you know that when you are going to create an ID, they will ask the first names, last name. If it is a matching with your name, which we are going to give on a certificate, then your credentials can be taken over here. This much efforts. Same I want. Go to meeting joining. Somebody joining with the web. Somebody joining with the HP. Somebody joining ABAB. Sorry, because I have to take a real-time attendance. How many times you logged in and logged out? I'm watching your total sustainable time also. In a 2 hours, how many times you're going out or you're coming in also. So we have to make so many analytics, because tomorrow when I will ask question and accuse, but you have missed the talk by Professor Arora or maybe Professor Shahid, you may not be able to answer my quiz, which is going to be there in the last final day. So anyhow, You must be thinking I'm working as a teacher. Of course, I have to be act as a teacher because it's FDP. So please excuse me, but I'll be little tough for that. And I want you to be same tough when you are going to give knowledge, when you are giving something new to a learner. Today, learner may say you are tough. Tomorrow, he will or she will appraise you like anything. Because of this toughness, we have inculcated something new. So this is about the Google Classroom. I think now everybody can join. Still you find issue, morning again I will give some demo before starting session. Already it's late. So we conclude today's the first day session. Meet some good new people also joining because they are in the waiting list. And I feel really bad. Those have applied, those got confirmation mail. They never responded even, sir, we are unable to join. Thank you for selecting us. If they could have to given this kind of email, because 2 days before we sent this confirmation, at end of the day, we are the teachers. You are missing somebody's seat and you taken a seat because it was free of cost, no efforts. But you have not even responded through email. Sir, give my chance to someone else because I am engaged with some other responsibility, or maybe some have medical problem, maybe any kind of problem. We appreciate your concern. But 100 participants could not join, although they got confirmed. It gives a wrong impression to the many organizers in my country. That's why the good FDP never happens. You think today, when Professor Shahid came all the way from US to be giving you the session, and he could see only the 100 participants, when Dr. Manna showed 200 participants, what kind of my face value, what kind of my image is carrying the speaker who is coming to me. So tomorrow you will be also facing same problem when you will conduct FDP, because you are also faculty. We should have some ethics. Either you join, otherwise you simply write a simple mail. Sorry, thank you for considering. When I applied, scenario was different. Now scenario is different. I may not be the participant. Please give the seat to someone else. If you will not believe, I will open Excel sheet. 1,000 participants registered. I can show the Excel sheet also. It is with me. But anyhow, tomorrow I believe you people will be retained and many more participants will join us. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow morning with a fresh mind, with the fresh energy, with the 4 different speakers, including me. So we are going to meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Sirji, please share your code number, please, once again.
Yeah, please. Okay, I'll show. Yes.
It is not opening, sir.
Opening of
It
heart.
is not opening.
Close invalid.
Sir, it's saying the code is not valid. Make
Code
sure
is not valid,
the
sir.
code.
Is it so?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
are not able to join.
We are good students, sir. We are watching.
I got it. You want me to create one more class? Okay, I'll create one more class. Then this.
Sir, the code is fine, sir. Sir, the code is fine. We are able to join the class. We have joined. I have joined, sir.
Join, sir.
Look, I am saying
Many
nothing.
of us are showing,
Sir, but we are not able to join.
Sir, the problem is they might not have G Suite account. Maybe they might not have G Suite account.
Why you are confusing with the G Suite? It is nothing to with the G Suite. I said Gmail. You are taking G Suite.
We have
देखो सेम है गया ना कुछ कैपिटल W तो नहीं है ये
Mute everyone. Mute everyone. Listen to me. Mute everyone. Simple Gmail account. My Gmail account is manna@gmail.com. I don't have a G Suite. For G Suite, you have to have an AC.in account. That is your nit.ac.in. I am not talking ac.in account. I am talking simple Gmail account. gmail.com account. Why you're talking about G Suite? I never use this word G Suite. I'm talking simple. It's a free to create. Anyone can create. Even you can create 10 accounts today with the different names. G Suite can be given to you if you have a domain. Domain is ac.in or .org. I'm not talking because many are from the private institutions. They may not have the domain ID like .ac.in or .org. I'm asking again, your email account should be gmail.com. I think this is clear to my all participants and they will not find any difficulty. Code is 101% valid. That's why I'm inside the classroom. I'm inside the classroom. The code is invalid. How I can go inside the classroom and I can display this? So even many, I have shown you the people who have joined. So please try today night. No problem. You are now exhausted. You are tired. Take some rest. Have a long breath. Have a good coffee. Have a good tea. It's evening time. Enjoy raining also outside. Then you go and log into this Google Classroom. See you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Good night to all of you. Bye-bye.
Sir, one more doubt, sir. Sir, one last question. One more doubt, sir.
Okay. Yes, quickly.
Sorry, sir. Actually, I have registered with my institute email ID, that mitaoe.ac.in.
Okay.
I am using the same mitavoe.ac.in. We are having the Gmail connected to that. So I am trying for the Google
Don't use
Classroom with your code. Yeah.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You have to make a Gmail email with the gmail.com.
I have a Gmail ID. Can I use directly with that?
Yes, you can use that. Name should be yours only.
Yes. I have in my short name MSK sent kind of thing. I will use it. No.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. No issue.
Thanks.
I hope nobody having any further queries, and many already have left because everybody is now tired. So thank you. Morning, I'll give you 10 minutes before the session for discussion. Yeah, or you can write a mail anytime. Thank you to all of you. I really found a very good.
Thank you, sir.
Really,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
You have some unruly students, so you should have patience.